Here with you on 100.5 ESPN Madison, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, and the ESPN Madison and Milwaukee YouTube channels. We could be considered as a couple of Fickle defenders.
Yes.
I think we have been. But through 2 years and just about 4 games, I think a lot of you are also just as sick of the product on the football field as Riley and I are. And we're going to open up the phone lines all day long, as well as the text or the talk and text line. That's 844-770-3776. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day is presented to you by our friends at Coors Light. When you need to refresh on game day, choose a beer that's as cold as the Rockies, cold filtered, cold lagered, and cold packaged for peak refreshment. When the mountains are blue, you know what to do, and that's crush a Coors Light, 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Instant reaction, Riley, as we have about 2 minutes left in this one. It's 27-3. I'm not too interested in what happens in this final drive, but maybe they make the score look a little prettier. Disappointing day, to say the very least. I'm speechless.
Yeah.
That's a problem for people who are on radio to be speechless.
Yes, I'm going to be crushing a lot of Coors Lights after this post-game show, that is for sure. This is just sad. This is depressing. This is the most embarrassing game of football I have ever watched as a Wisconsin Badgers fan. I was fortunate enough to be born in 2001. I missed the Don Morton era.
You and me both.
I did not have to witness that.
We've been spoiled until last year.
That we have. And I thought we reached rock bottom in 2023. I called the game for WSUM, the student radio station, Wisconsin Northwestern. Northwestern battered the Badgers 24-10 that day. The crowd had cleared out by the end of jump around, and I thought that was the low point of Luke Fickell's time in Wisconsin. We'd start climbing the ladder after that as Jaden Ballard drops another pass. He's had an interesting game today so far. I thought that was the low point, for sure, bar none. No way we could ever see anything worse than that, and lo and behold, here we are. I am disgusted. This is not the standard of Wisconsin football. They were undisciplined. They had horrible body language. They did not show up to play today. They let Alabama beat them twice. I don't know. Maybe they let last season beat them twice, carry over into this year. Last year, it seemed like the team gave up after 6 or 7 games. This year, it was, I believe, after the Oregon loss.
Yeah.
They were done. This team checked out in the first quarter of the 4th game of the season against Maryland. That is on the head coach.
Yeah.
That is on the coaching staff. I have been defending Luke Fickell tooth and nail since I have gotten on air here at ESPN Madison, and I just can't do it anymore. I can't. This is on coaching. I will talk to Luke Fickell on Monday. I will see him face-to-face and see what he has to say, see how he has to answer for this pathetic performance we saw today against Maryland. The season's over.
Yeah.
The season's over. 4 games in, and now it's just how does this program move forward from here? I don't have the answers, and I hope we'll get a lot of suggestions today on answers on how this program should move forward, especially when it comes to the leadership. But that's it. This team could not battle adversity. They wilted. I was really excited, actually, going into this season. How will this team
bounce
battle?
back?
How will they battle?
They've been doubted all offseason.
Exactly. Yep. First losing season in over 20 years. You missed a bowl game. You ended the streak. They spent a lot of time. Fickell told us, the players told us, they've worked on bonding. They've worked on becoming closer. So this exact situation wouldn't happen. And what do we see today? The exact same thing. Nothing has changed. And that's why I'm so incredibly pissed off right now.
You're not alone in being pissed off. I'm pissed off. I've told you I'm a little closer to maybe, I don't even want to say more pessimistic, because I think I was still on the optimistic end with you. But the common denominator is responding to adversity, and whether it's the Oregon game or the Alabama loss or a blocked field goal in the first drive today or a bad snap, the difference between teams that are powerhouses and are competing at the top of their conference by the end of the season and what Wisconsin is in 2025 is those teams, the former, they bounce back from those. Mm-hmm. Wisconsin is allowing those mistakes to accumulate, to snowball. Mm-hmm. And when you have a more talented roster than this week, the Maryland Terrapins, who are going to get their 4th Big Ten win on the road in the last 5 years, in Camp Randall, they were the ones jumping around. When a team like that does what Maryland did to Wisconsin, you really have to take a 10,000-foot view at where is this program right now. And speaking of the Carbless Talk and text line, 844-770-3776, we have Dustin on the line from Menominee Falls asking what happened to the program. Dustin, your guess is as good as mine.
What happened to strong offensive linemen?
Yep.
What happened to running the ball?
Mm-hmm.
What happened to the heart and soul of Wisconsin football that Barry Alvarez brought in the 90s that we have continued since I was a little kid? That's gone. Illinois is ranked number 9 right now. What's going on? I don't know what I watched today, but I don't want to watch anymore until I see something different.
Yep.
Amen, brother.
I'm going to still watch because I'm a Wisconsin football fan.
Exactly.
And I'm still going to watch because but this isn't the team that I think anybody anticipated. And air raid offense, woohoo! Let's change gears, and that didn't really. The gear looks like we're stuck in neutral, and the clutch is slipping. And you know what? We got a blown transmission. We got to swap the engine and the tranny because guess what? It went right into and broke a rocker arm, man. I don't know, dude. That's all I got to say. Gentlemen, have a good rest of your night.
Thank
Amen,
you,
brother.
Dustin.
Thank you.
We'll certainly try. And exactly like Jesse Nelson on the pregame show came in saying, yes, today we're going to try and run the football on this Maryland team. 61 rush yards on the day. Offensive line, yes, it's banged up. Yes, it's young. But that's no excuse. They haven't been able to run the ball. They haven't been able to protect the quarterback all season. Miami of Ohio, Middle Tennessee, Alabama, sure, last week they looked just as horrible, but it's Alabama. You expect that.
Yeah.
Now it's gotten to the breaking point where we can't watch this anymore. We've had several people in the YouTube chat say they don't think I'm going to be talking to Fickle on Monday morning. They're not going to watch a game the rest of the season. We'll be watching because, 1, it's our job, and 2, we're diehards here. And I would watch. I will suffer through this season regardless. I will watch every game start to finish. But that is where we're at right now. And Jim Rutledge said it on the jump around.
What's their identity?
Fans are starting to check out.
And he also asked, what is their identity? Who are
Exactly.
we? Who are we? There was a play in the second quarter that Grimes dialed up that looked like the Colts play that's been memed for the last 10 years. It actually kind of worked out. Dylan Jones put a stiff arm down and got 6-7 yards out of it. We threw everything in the kitchen sink, and I don't even want to blame Grimes for some of this. We don't know who we are. And I think we'll talk about this later, but Billy Edwards Jr. playing a handful of snaps and then going out.
That was frustrating.
Extremely irresponsible, and I want to dive more into what that does to a team's psyche. But when you already don't know who your identity is, and then you stack the fact that you have your coach in the beginning of the game going, we'll see what happens, but we have a plan for both. I mean, we saw a small sample size of it. O'Neal's a little more mobile. Billy Edwards Jr. is throwing the ball down the field a little bit more. How are you supposed to know who you even are when it looked like for the first few minutes we were running a 2-quarterback system? You don't even know who your quarterback's going to be by the end of the game because the guy out there is operating at 72%.
Maybe.
And that feels optimistic.
72%. He left after a rollout
Maybe
to the
more
right
60,
and a pass.
55?
Again, yes, untouched. I thought that was a horrendous decision by Luke Fickell, but I was willing to excuse it.
27 to 10 is the final, by the way. We got our triple zeros. Yeah.
Everything that Fickell has done thus far. When the Badgers scored, you could see about the 30 students left in the crowd celebrating. Save Us Jim Leonard
on an iPhone.
Is on an iPhone from a student at Camp Randall Stadium. This is just depressing. I don't know what to say. And so I'll let Brad Nortman, former Badgers punter on some of the great Brett Bielema teams here at the University of Wisconsin, I'll let him say it, or I'll read his text for you. Yep. Also a host of our pregame show, Wisconsin College Game Day pregame show with Jesse Nelson, Adam Mertz, and Brad Nortman. What took 30 years to build has been destroyed in 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm at a loss for words, and I think that sums it up perfectly.
I mean, what do they have to play for the rest of the year? Who do they have to play for the rest of the year? That's going to be completely up for debate, too. And, again, we do want to hear from you, 844-770-3776. This team has no identity. And Maryland, the team that won today, it even feels gross saying that, didn't play a good football game.
No.
Riley, the first 2 touchdowns they scored were on drives of 4 yards and 28 yards. What did the freshman quarterback in Malik Washington have to do but waltz down the short field that this defense, this special teams, this offense, this football program, or what's left of it, leave him.
I was not
There was
high.
no pressure on him.
No, I was not high on Malik Washington coming in. He hadn't played anyone, and unfortunately, he still hasn't played anyone.
No.
Because he played our defense. Granted, they played well. They were probably the best part of this team today.
Yeah.
For the most part. But when you're put in those situations by horrendous special teams mistakes, horrendous interceptions by Danny O'Neal, there's not much you can do. And we made Malik Washington. He had a couple nice throws, a couple of great deep balls that
at the end of the first
looked
half, he had
pretty,
a really good one. Yeah.
But we made him look like a world beater.
Yep.
And that is unacceptable. Where does Wisconsin go from here? They have no direction on the field, and they have no direction at the helm right now. Nobody knows in this fan base where we're supposed to go right now or what's going on. It's just so frustrating.
I mean, I want to look elsewhere. Like, you guys do a lot of great a lot of great content and broadcast coverage on Zimber Konda's presentation of Prep Mania. I see we have a legend in the house. We have undefeated Portage Warrior football coach, ranked number 1 Mike Knockreiner. Did I say it? Oh, my goodness.
I believe. Do you guys take on Stoughton next week?
Stoughton coming up?
We
There
had
we go.
him yesterday.
I mean, goodness. Maybe that's where we'll look to be a little happier about our local Wisconsin football, the status of the programs nearby.
Are you available to coach next Saturday? Or 2 Saturdays from now, I should say.
Yeah, what are we up to then? Friday nights, we'll book those out for you.
We have a
Everything else?
volunteer.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay.
We're moving in the right direction.
Start the search.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Old school power football, and that is what Wisconsin used to hang their hat on. We'll talk to Barry Alvarez on the Barry Alvarez Show Monday night, 6 to 7. Jesse Nelson, Tarek Saleh, Derek Engler alongside him. And he built this program from the ground up. We had Matt LePay.
It was a 1-10, 1-11 program
last week. And that's sort of what I compared Luke Fickell's first 2 years to. I was like, okay, it took Barry a little while to get going, too. So maybe he'll figure it out. But Barry built this program from scratch, and he had a clear idea what he wanted the Wisconsin Badgers to be, and he executed it, and he built it into a contender, and he built it into what it is today, and it was carried on by Brett Bielema, Paul Chryst, kind of Gary Anderson. And they cut ties with Gary Anderson quick when he didn't show it, and Chris McIntosh, the athletic director, took a swing on Luke Fickell. I respect the decision to take a swing, but it has been an absolute miss. And
yeah, I like the hire when it happened.
Exactly.
I was very excited for the hire when it happened. It was 9-4, 7-6, coming off what we thought were lackluster seasons. Little did we know
it's only
what was in
worse.
store in 2025. I want to get to some more of the text in the live chat
and
on
that's
the ESPN
I think,
Madison Milwaukee YouTube channel.
And that's the real question now, I think. The buyout is still massive for Luke Fickell.
Yep.
The season is essentially over. 4 games in. We're done. The Badgers, I don't think they're making a bowl game. I don't see another win on this schedule, and this is coming from someone who put money on them to win 6 games.
Yep.
I don't see another win on this schedule. So now what do? Do you cut ties instantly? Do you wait until the end of the season? Right now, I think maybe we should save this for the next segment, but I do have a thought on this.
Yeah, we'll talk about the future of this program, who could be leading it, what the rest of the schedule looks like in terms of what we could even be trying to grasp at for any optimism. But we do want to remind you that if you are looking for a reliable roofing and home restoration company in Wisconsin, Badgerland Exteriors is here to help. Residential and commercial roofing, siding, and solar, Badgerland Exteriors has you covered. Visit badgerlandexteriors.com to get started today on your next project. Taking your calls, 844-770-3776 on the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. This is more on the other end of the break. This is the Wisconsin College Game Day postgame show brewed by Coors Light.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Start your career where the road to success is paved in coffee. At Dunkin' Donuts, we're now hiring crew members and hourly shift leaders at our locally owned locations. Dunkin' offers flexible schedules, employee discounts, health and dental benefits, and paid time off. Plus, bolster your resume with our own leadership training program and even scholarship opportunities. Up to $1,500 per semester. Text Team Spirit to 85000 or visit teamtmart.com/careers to apply. Dunkin', America runs on you.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
The Midwest's best baseball players have one thing in common, GRB Academy. For 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's leader in player development and advancement, producing over 468 college commits and 27 major league draft picks. Their Windsor facility has 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training space. Next up to bat is GRB's top prospect camp on Sunday, October 12th, open to the high school classes of 2026 through 2029. Claim your spot now at grbacademy.com.
It's kickoff time at Metro Kia Madison. Get ready to score big with unbeatable season-starting deals. Drive home the electrifying 2025 Kia EV6 with 0% APR for 60 months, $16.67 per $1,000 borrowed. Or go long with the all-new 2026 Kia EV9 at just 0% APR for 48 months, only $20.83 per $1,000. But hurry, these championship deals end September 30th. Visit MetroKiaMadison.com to start your winning drive today.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse isn't just a barbecue restaurant. Open daily for lunch and dinner, Liberty Station serves American comfort food with regional touches using many locally sourced ingredients. The bar at Liberty Station offers vintage cocktails created in a classic style, local craft beers, plus a wide array of wine options. And be sure to check out their sprawling patio with an indoor and outdoor porch area. Liberty Station, conveniently located just off the Beltline on Rimrock Road.
Bikers need protection, not just from other drivers, but unfortunately from insurance companies too. If you've been injured in a motorcycle crash, call Gruber Law Offices today. Bikers are often blamed for causing the accident because the insurance companies simply don't want to pay. At Gruber Law Offices, we've been fighting for injured bikers and their families for more than 30 years. Trust us to fight for what you deserve. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
We're on the Packers.
This speed of this defense is a step faster than everybody they've played so far.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
This Micah Parsons effect, it's even bigger than I think we thought.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day. Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Well, stop. Now is the time to get housed, as they say it over there at Bruner Realty. For over 30 years, Bruner Realty has been providing excellent real estate and property management services in the Madison area. Contact their team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to get started today. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Corey Sparks, Riley Yauk here at Monk's Bar and Grill in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. And on the phone we have the one, the only Jim Rutledge from Jim, Matt, and Molly, weekdays from 4 to 6 on ESPN Madison, and the Jump Around Weekly. Jim, I heard you left the game early. I can't exactly blame you.
Yeah, the long bomb touchdown was it. I was with Nestor from Carver World Health. I got a chance to hang out in his suite, and that was it for me.
Yep. I
Best part
can't
of the game,
blame you at all. Breaking the W over his knee in the end zone, right in front of the student section. I've never seen a larger dagger to end a season this early than that.
Delivered by Maryland.
Maryland.
Probably end of season. That I think that ended the Fickle era.
Yeah.
Maybe not today, but that's it.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's more than the season. It's over.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Jim. And as you know from me producing the jump around, we have not seen eye to eye on Luke Fickell to start this season. I have been bullishly positive. I have really wanted Luke Fickell to succeed here at Wisconsin, but now we are well past the point of no return. This is simply untenable right now.
That's a great word. I wanted Luke Fickell to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
I was happier than most when I hired Luke Fickell. I don't think, and I'm arguing with people online and in person, I don't think Jim Leonard was the answer. They're not much better with Jim Leonard. Jim Leonard's not walking through the door and saving anything. The Badgers aren't going to hire Jim Leonard now. This isn't we could have had a great coach with Jim Leonard, but we hired Luke Fickell. Mm-hmm. No. This program isn't good enough. They don't have an identity. They don't have any passion from the fans. This program is spiraling downhill. There was a suite next to me that didn't fill up till and it wasn't full, but it was like 4 or 5 people showed up. But for the whole first quarter, the people didn't even bother to get there. The suite that I'm in is usually packed. It was not as packed as normal. There was, Regent Street wasn't as full. The stadium, and I'm not talking about the student section. The stadium wasn't full at any point. The student section never filled for the first time since I can remember. The students are chanting "Fire Fickle." People are asking in the elevator on the way out, "What's the buyout? Will he be the coach on Monday?" That's the state of the program right now.
Jim, is it worth doing that? Obviously, there's the buyout aspect, and then you get the 30-day transfer portal window that immediately opens up where guys can just rush out. Or do you slum it through the rest of what's going to be a long 8 weeks of football and then do it in the offseason?
Here's the problem. Who's coaching this team? I don't want any of these other guys coaching this team. There's not some we got this up-and-coming head coaching candidate that's going to take over the program. Let's see what we got in them. As far as the players, I don't want these players leaving. That doesn't do the Badgers any good. It doesn't stop, as we saw when Chris was fired during the year and everyone just thought Leonard was going to be handed the job. It doesn't stop Mac from pursuing coaches now through back channels. So there's really not a major reason to fire Fickell at this moment. You cross your fingers and hope somehow they pull their heads out of their butts and they turn this thing around. It ain't happening, but I think that's what you have to do because it's so early in the year and there's no great coach sitting on the sidelines for the Badgers that you feel like could save the season. It's not Barry Alvarez isn't coming down from the athletic department to coach the team again.
No.
He's already done that a few times. He's not going to do it for a whole season. So there's no better solution right now than to just ride it out with Fickell. And I have to imagine the buyout goes down with each game. I think at the end of the year, his buyout is $25 million.
Mm-hmm. Which at this point in time, again, season's over. Luke Fickell era is probably over. If you can save that much money, I think that would be ideal. And I think maybe this is probably outlandish, but the best case scenario for the Badgers is that Clemson continues to lose. They cut ties with Dabo Swinney, and the Badgers pick him up or something.
That is. I literally had a former Badgers player give me that specific name as far as who they wanted.
Thank you.
I think he's very anti-NIL, so I don't know if that's going to solve a problem here. So, not that Fickell is anti-NIL, but there's an identity and a recruiting problem. We don't know what this team is problem, but there's also an NIL problem here. I don't know there's a cash flow problem, but imagine this, $25 million buyout for Luke Fickell. You're going to have to hire a big-time coach to come in, plus then bring in more NIL money. I mean, this is a $100 million mistake just in one offseason.
Jim, what do we do about Billy Edwards Jr. going out there for a handful of snaps, hobbling, and then going out? I don't think I'm alone on this. That was an irresponsible decision, but we got the quote from Fickell earlier this week. We need to protect Billy from himself. I know this is a huge motivator. He wants to go up against his former team, but he should have never stepped foot on Camp Randall today.
Yeah, honestly, added to another reason why Fickell should be let go. I mean, that's honestly more of a fireable offense than getting your butt kicked by Maryland. Like, don't play a player. One, I was curious why they played him in the first place.
Yeah.
My understanding is he hasn't practiced much in the last few weeks. His game time readiness was accelerated very quickly, which is great. I'm not saying any doctors, anyone cut corners, but, like, what's his conditioning level like? What is his overall health like? And also, he didn't have game reps. He didn't look great out there. He overthrew, I forget the receiver, but after the big throw to Tretch, which is just an easy pitch and catch, which was still a little bit late, but that didn't matter. He overthrew a receiver that could have been picked off, but it could have been a positive play for the Badgers. Then it sets up the field goal attempt that's blocked. So it's not like he was crisp. It's not like he was practicing for weeks and was going to come out crisp. So it's an indictment of the confidence they have in Danny O'Neal, but also, to your point, it's an indictment of the coaching staff to put him in there.
Yeah, and Jim, we've heard Fickle at almost every press conference since the injury say that there's going to be a point where we'll have to protect Billy from himself, and they actively did not protect Billy Edwards Jr. from himself today. Just horribly irresponsible. We also got a text in our pregame group chat from Brad Nortman, and I think it sums it up pretty well, the situation at hand, that it only took 3 years to destroy what had taken 30 years to build. How does that make you feel? And do you feel right now, does Mac have a job going forward?
I've talking to former players, I don't think they want Mac around either. But more than just his football handling, I don't know if you blow the whole thing up. You do want to kind of give a coach an AD an opportunity to hire more than one coach. I don't think firing Chris was a problem. I don't think not hiring Jim Leonard was a problem. I am shocked that this Luke Fickell thing didn't work out as a problem. So the case to fire Mac is that this is more than a Luke Fickell problem. This is an institutional problem where they don't know how to properly gather NIL money, how to properly disperse NIL money, how to get the businesses in the Madison area to be excited about donating NIL money. What do they get for it? The whip them, what's in it for me? I don't think they do a good job of any of that. And so that would be the case to get rid of Mac, is when I talk to people, I don't know many business owners are happy with the product on the field or how money is asked for and how money is used that they donate. So there's layers to this problem.
It's just even more depressing to hear that behind the scenes it's no better than the product on the field. And maybe that is a reflection of everything going on behind the scenes right now too.
Jim, one more for you, and thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We know you had a little extra time with leaving the game early, and again, I don't blame you for doing that. How do you get the community, Badgers faithful, motivated? Whether we hold on to Luke Fickell for the rest of the season or whatnot, it's one of the toughest slates in college football after the bye week. We don't have confidence in the quarterback out there when it's Danny O'Neal. Hopefully Billy Edwards Jr. is healthy enough. I don't even know where my trust is with that situation now on the questionable designation he's had. I mean, where do we look for any sense of optimism and eagerness to pick up the TV remote and watch the football game every Friday now?
I don't mean to be mean, but why would you pick it up and watch? You're watching it just because you like the Badgers and you like football. From a fan's perspective, I can't lie to you and say there's going to be something super excited about this season to be for this team. I mean, hope springs eternal. We're all going to put on the clown mask next 2 Saturdays from now because we're all going to get excited that maybe something will happen and they'll beat Michigan. And then we'll put on the clown face after the game. So we're all going to do it because we're fans and this is what fans do. But for like a legitimate, logical, why would I watch this game? I don't know. And how do you get fans excited? This is where it's unfortunate. And I'm not saying people will watch the game if they fire Fickell. And I'm not saying they should fire Fickell. I'm not saying that will solve any problems, but at least people will be interested. Weirdly, people will be hopeful because the only case to fire Fickell right now is you fire him, and then if you stink, you just go, well, at least we know we're getting a new coach. And if you don't fire him, you still have this sort of like, oh, God, are we going to keep him? It's a lot of money. Will the Badgers balk at getting rid of him? Or, oh, they won 5 games. They're going to talk themselves into this. But here's the problem. Alabama might have ended their season. I can't look at this schedule and go, you know who's going to win another game this year? The Wisconsin Badgers, who just lost at home to Maryland.
Yeah. No.
Me and Riley are in disbelief. I feel like we went through all the stages of grief over the first quarter and a half.
Yeah.
That's all it took for the dagger to be there. But Jim, thank you so much for the time. Hopefully you have a better rest of your Saturday.
Have a lot of Coors Lights for us, Jim.
I'm sorry for how it
appreciate
started.
it.
Yeah, well, my Sunday won't be a lot better, but I'll do my best to enjoy the weekend.
We can commiserate together tomorrow, Jim. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Right. See you guys. All
See
right,
ya.
bye.
We also have Evan Cohen on the line right now. You can hear him weekdays from 5 to 9 a.m. on Unsportsmanlike. Evan, if we've got you on the line and we have you here right now as Riley and I are commiserating here in Sun Prairie at Monk's Bar and Grill. Great partner, great place, by the way, great venue. There's the silver lining of our Saturday. What did you see today, in your words?
Yeah, I mean, listen, as a Badger alum, a Wisconsin graduate, this is not pretty by any stretch of the imagination. This is not something that we expected, obviously, in terms of the way in which this team has started. That first quarter was, I mean, just absolutely awful, right? From the QB injury to the botched snap to the block on the field goal to just one thing after another, and just never riding the ship off of that. And you look at what's going on right now, and yeah, I mean, listen, they've lost 2 games in a row. Right now, you cannot project a win against Michigan. It's tough to project a win against Iowa. You're certainly not going to project a win against Ohio State or Oregon. I mean, there's not a lot of wins to be had over the next few weeks, and I'm not going to join you guys and say, you know what, I want the coach fired. But I'm also not going to sit there and say that those fans that were leaving Camp Randall today, and I was there a couple of weeks ago for the Middle Tennessee State game, and it was still the best atmosphere in all of college football. But for the fans to be out there and say, fire Fickle, I'm not doing that. I'm also not going to say that they're wrong to have that take based on their frustrations today, guys.
So, Evan, where is it fair to point the finger, right? Because the Alabama loss, the people who were saying fire Fickle after that, I just look the other way. I'm like, there's a clear talent gap there, whether you have an opinion on scouting or NIL or what have you, so be it, right? But after a loss like this I look up and down Maryland's roster, I look up and down Wisconsin's roster against a team that doesn't have as much talent and just got a rare road win in the Big Ten, and you just mentioned some of the mistakes that have been accumulating. I feel like good teams with good coaches bounce back from adversity. With Wisconsin, it just mounts. Is it at least fair to draw the line there and point the finger at leadership when you have 3rd and 30 and a blocked punt and a blocked field goal and bad snaps?
So let me ask you guys a question right now, because you guys live there. You're closer to it than I am, obviously from a national perspective, but as an alum, I pay attention to it, but not day-to-day like you guys. So let's run through a series of questions.
Okay.
Do the Badgers have a top 2 offensive line in the entire Big Ten?
No, a top 2. They right now probably have a bottom 2. I think they were just in front of Maryland for the worst rushing offense in the conference right now.
Yeah, the depth is abysmal.
They have one of the worst offensive lines.
Let's keep going. Do they have a good running game?
No.
Do they have a good defense?
Yes.
Is solid.
Run defense is probably the strength of it, but I feel like you look at the secondary, and especially the last 2 games, they've been torched. So as a whole, I would lean good, sure. Barely.
Okay.
Just over.
So basically when you guys are saying where to point the fingers, you just did it for me. And what I'm saying to you is they don't look like great Wisconsin teams. And you could say that the sport has evolved, NIL, et cetera, but the concept of recruiting your state, making sure the biggest, strongest offensive lineman is where you start, getting running backs who want to run behind that, and in many ways intentionally playing boring ground and pound, run-first defensive football and being good at it is what they have been great at forever. I think if you want to figure out where it starts here, it's very simple. It starts with I've said this, guys, before, and I'll say it again. When I was in school, and that was from 98 to 02, 2 Rose Bowls under Barry Alvarez. Okay, greatest coach, obviously, in Badger history. Nobody's debating that. And when we were in the Rose Bowl, and we had this goal every year, Coach Alvarez said to get to the Rose Bowl, and I remember at that time sitting back and saying, well, why not dream of the national championship? And Barry Alvarez realized in 98, 99, and 2000 what people in 2025 are realizing now. And that is Wisconsin cannot, under any circumstance, play for a national championship. What I just said is not meant to be insulting. What I just said is meant to set a reality. And I think what Chris McIntosh and Luke Fickell did was say, well, wait a minute. Look at the Badgers for the last 25 years, growing and growing and growing. Let's give it a shot. Let's come up with this new innovative offense. Let's bring in offensive coordinators. Let's bring in skill position players who, maybe could help potentially win a national championship. And the reality is, the whole time they should have just been playing for the Big Ten, right? Because that, and by the way, that could lead you to a championship now.
Exactly.
But I'm saying conceptually, right? Conceptually, how they play. By the way, how Illinois plays right now, if we're going to be real about that, and that should be your goal. And because you know what's happening now? Unfortunately, and wins can do this, but now we're at a point where they're going to have to do work to win back the fan base outside of football. If this regime, which is totally fine, wanted to let their football do the talking, that's fine. It's not doing it. So now you're going to have your talking doing the talk, meaning where you guys are right now, Chris McIntosh should swing by, say hello, meet the fans, right? Same thing with Luke Fickell. You got to go back to grassroots. You got to be out and about, meeting everybody and being there, and because your football is not going to do the talking right now, guys.
Yeah, I totally agree, Evan, and I think what proves your point even more is that you don't even have to look at Illinois, who's a top 10 team in the country right now. You can look at Iowa under a dinosaur, and Kirk Ferentz is still grinding out wins just by playing defense and having barely a good enough offense to score enough points to win games. They gutted one out against Rutgers last night.
You know why? Very, very simply. Because Iowa knows they will never play for a national championship. And so what they're going to do is ensure that they're playing for the college football playoff by playing their style of football that works in their state. And it can be boring at times. Who cares? I'd rather be boring and win than exciting and lose.
Exactly.
So I think that's it. They don't have an identity right now, right? That's what we're circling around.
Evan, I know Tausch is a big solutions guy. You talk with Wilde and Tausch every week on their show on Tuesdays. And so let's look for a solution here. You have a national perspective. Where do the Badgers go from here? It seems like the season's over. It seems like the Luke Fickell era is dead at the University of Wisconsin. How do they resuscitate this program?
Okay, it's a good question. So, again, I want to be clear. I'm not asking for McIntosh to go, and I'm not asking for Fickell to go at all in any way, shape, or form. The easiest way to resuscitate the program, as you just asked, is to make friends with everyone. I know that sounds utterly ridiculous. Here's the thing. If Luke Fickell called you guys tonight and explained what's going on, I guarantee, just by nature of the beast, you're going to sit back and say, all right, let me see. I'm not going to rip him. He made sense in what he was saying there.
Yep.
I think they got to treat this now almost like a restart of the program. You got to restart this. Think about, guys, what happens when a new coach takes over in any sport anywhere. What he does is immediately meet everyone in town, meet all the important people in town, meet all the people that have no importance. And I don't mean people aren't important. I'm saying to the program, right? Just build your cheerleaders. Build all of the people that are going to be cheerleaders for you, and that they can say, I met Coach Fickell. What a great guy. And they don't have to donate $1 to the program. When I'm saying these important versus unimportant, I'm saying the donors really is what I mean.
Yeah.
But so it's not important versus unimportant. It's those spending money in the program and those not. Spread the word of the greatness of this program. That's what you have to do, because you can't snap your fingers and all of a sudden say, oh, no, Luke Fickell's a 50-year Wisconsin guy like Lance Leipold or Jim Leonard or somebody like that, or Jason. You can't do that. That doesn't happen overnight. So you've got to make yourselves, and I know Mac is, but Coach Fickell, you're not going to fix the football this year. Make yourself a Wisconsin guy. That's what I'm telling you. Go call Brooks Bollinger. Go call Tausch. Go call J.J. Watt and Joe Thomas and Russell Wilson, and have some of these people rally for you based on understanding what you're doing better. And then you get more time inevitably as a result, because you have more people understanding the process. It can't just be, we're going to let Saturdays do our talking. No, they tried that. It didn't work. Now you actually have to talk in order to give yourself more time.
Yeah, I totally agree, Evan. That would be fantastic. I'd love if Luke Fickell called into our post-game show right now and explained himself. But where we're at right now, I don't think he's going to do that. It seems like we are too far gone and past the point of no return. I think it's over.
You think it's over like when? What do you mean you think it's over?
As in that Wisconsin will not get back to winning football under Luke Fickell, and that ultimately we are just buying time until he is fired.
And then what is your solution?
My solution? That's also a great question. I think I threw this out to Jim Rutledge, who is just on right now, which is a terrible solution, but you hope that Clemson continues to lose. Dabo Swinney, he may not be the best coach in modern era, but at least he has an identity. Why not?
No, thank you.
Not a fan of Dabo.
So we're living in a hypothetical world right now. I'm not. Again, I want to reiterate for the 1,000th time. I'm not trying to fire Luke Fickell. That's not what I'm doing. I'm giving suggestions. And I know you guys are not saying that. I'm just saying for anybody tuning in right now.
Yeah.
So here's why I don't want Dabo. Dabo does what Fickell does, but significantly better. And what I'm saying to you is, I don't believe that can be done at Wisconsin.
Okay.
So like the way in which Dabo would run a program, Trevor Lawrence is not coming to Wisconsin. The college football version on field, we don't want the off field, but the college football version of Deshaun Watson not coming to Wisconsin, right? Like DeAndre Hopkins not coming to Wisconsin. C.J. Spiller back in the day not coming to Wisconsin. Like, there's just not happening. And I wish that was incorrect because it's the greatest school in America, but it's just not happening. I want someone who understands, how do I get Joe Thomas at every position? How do I get Mark Tauscher to back up at every position? How do I get J.J. Watt from Central Michigan to join this team? How do I get, back in my day, not to sound old, but Donnell Thompson as a middle linebacker? How do I find Ron Dane and Eddie Faulkner and these guys? Like, how do I find that? Like, I need a coach who understands what we are, and it doesn't mean that that coach is a Wisconsin guy necessarily. It just means that the coach, in this hypothetical world, again, I'm not trying to fire Fickell, but in this hypothetical world that you're bringing up, it's the coach that understands this is not going to be a national championship program, ever. It needs to be a playoff program. And so trying to win a title, that's what Dabo's going to do. We will fail trying to win a title. We will succeed trying to make the playoff.
Evan, last one here for you. Fans everywhere, even in our Carbless Talk and text line right now, have been begging for weeks for a resurgence of the run game and a return to the true Wisconsin identity, get those big, bad offensive linemen, the guys in the trenches, and be able to run the ball down a team's throat for 5-6 yards a carry. When is the soonest that we can see the return to that? Because right now, Jim Rutledge said it in the pregame show as well when he called in, this team does not have an identity.
Well, you guys would know the roster better than I would. Mm-hmm. Are they waiting on something or someone? Can they alter it to be that kind of offense right now?
No, they tried. We heard all offseason how great these running backs were, and they haven't shown us anything thus far.
And the O-line is senior heavy when they're healthy, and they're not even healthy right now. So, it'll be a bit. I don't think it's this year.
Okay, so I'm just thinking, if I'm Fickell, right, and I'm Coach Fickell and I'm on with you guys right now,
yes.
Is this a fair excuse, what I'm about to give you? Guys, my starting quarterback has been hurt. He got hurt in the first game of the season. He got hurt again today or banged up again today. Like, I didn't intend to play Danny O'Neal. I intended to play Billy Edwards Jr. Like, you're judging our team based on a backup quarterback. Is, in your mind, that a fair counter to everything I have just said?
Given that I don't think Billy Edwards Jr. should have played today, I don't think so. I think putting Billy Edwards Jr. out on the football field at Camp Randall today was irresponsible. He didn't look ready. He played a few snaps. He immediately had to go back out onto the bike and stretch out. I just think that was a bad decision altogether.
Yeah, I think that...
This is the problem, though, on that. So the problem on that is now, unintentionally, I just brought up another angle that you guys are right to discuss that would be against the current regime, right? Of why did you even play this guy today? So I guess I walked myself into that one.
Yeah. Okay. And I think you could make the argument, sure, for the offense, he's dealt with a backup quarterback 100%. For most of 3 seasons.
And we fought that fight.
Yes, exactly. But that doesn't excuse a blocked punt, a blocked field goal, penalties, roughing the passer, running into the punter, getting bailed out on those. The lack of discipline, I feel like in year 3 should be significantly better at this point, and the backup quarterback doesn't really fly there.
Yeah, I mean, all those other things have nothing to do directly with the backup quarterback, and I understand that. And that, if you're telling me he wants to play Billy Edwards Jr., that's the guy he built this whole thing around. And actually, by playing him today, he potentially could knock him out for weeks to come.
Yep.
So that's the problem too.
100%. Yeah. Well, Evan, thank you so much for the time. We wish it came with better news, but we appreciate your time as always. Much needed bye week here on the horizon.
Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me.
Yep. Awesome. That is Evan Cohen. You can hear him live on ESPN Radio and ESPN Madison, 5 to 9 a.m. weekly on Unsportsmanlike. More callers on the other end of the break. Brad Nortman included. This is the Wisconsin College Game Day postgame show brewed by Coors Light.
Postgame reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar. The better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Listen to that endless pour. Pure refreshment. If it sounds this good, just imagine how it tastes. Oh yeah, so good. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
This is a magical month at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, with 13 chances to win big every week. Starting at 6 p.m. each Friday in September, 12 winners will enter an enchanted forest and select a cash prize of up to $2,500. Then at 9 p.m. every Friday, one winner will open a door to reveal a grand prize of up to $10,000 in cash. Be here for our Forest of Fortune promotion happening every Friday night in September. Don't miss your chance for prizes all month long at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
Looking for the perfect pizza meal just for you? Introducing Pizza Hut's new personal pizzas, the Crafted Flats. 5 bold, hand-stretched personal pizza recipes. 3 cheese, pepperoni duo, the ultimate, and for a limited time, Nashville hot chicken and chicken bacon ranch. All just $5 each, all day. The perfect pizza deal for lunch, dinner, or on game days. Order your $5 Crafted Flats at one of their locations or online at pizzahut.com today. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
It's kickoff time at Metro Florida Madison, and we're bringing the heat with unbeatable truck deals. Get the 2025 F-150 Lightning with 0% APR for 72 months, $13.89 per $1,000 borrowed, or tackle any job with the 2024 F-150 or F-150 XLT, now at 2.9 APR for 66 months, $16.41 per $1,000 borrowed. These offers end September 30th, so don't fumble your chance to save. Visit MetroFloridaMadison.com and score your next truck today.
Hi, Dave from Canopy Wealth Management here. Our balanced approach helps guide you through a complex and ever-changing landscape. Throughout your family's financial planning journey, we will serve as a partner, advocate, and steward in all aspects to help you achieve your goals with confidence. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity, it's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Your family's safety is your responsibility, and it starts with a solid roof. When the next storm rips through and takes some of your shingles with it, call Badgerland Exteriors. Or looking to replace your whole roof but don't want to break the bank? Let the team at Badgerland Exteriors give you a free, no obligations estimate.
AJ with Badgerland Exteriors here. Contracting made easy is more than a tagline. It's how we run our family business. Visit BadgerlandExteriors.com to get started on your next project. That's BadgerlandExteriors.com.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde here to let you know Steinhoffels is celebrating 91 years as Wisconsin's furniture and mattress leader. So join Tausch, Jesse, and me as we broadcast from Steinhoffels off the Beltline on the west side of Madison this Friday. Stop by and take a quick test rest on a mattress in store, and Steinhoffels will donate $20 to Special Spaces Wisconsin, and you'll receive a $20 restaurant gift card. Wilde and Tausch live at Steinhoffels this Friday. Relax, it's Steinhoffels.
This is Monte Ball.
Monte steps to the right, dashes, reaches, touchdown.
You listen to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day on 100.5 ESPN Madison, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, and the ESPN Madison and Milwaukee YouTube channels. You can also always catch us on the customizable ESPN Wisconsin app. Canopy Wealth Management carries a long-standing tradition of working in the best interest of their clients every single day. The team at Canopy emphasizes building local relationships and believes that values matter and strengthen their communities. At Canopy, it's care, competence, and clarity. Not just a tagline, but that is a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. I am so frazzled by what we just saw the last couple of hours that I'm trying my best to do our friends at Canopy Wealth justice by reading the live read correctly. It's canopy-wealth.com to get started today. Corey Sparks, Riley Yauk here with you at Monk's Bar and Grill in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. And we are now joined by Brad Nortman from Kyle Bresson Nortman, weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m. on ESPN Madison and Beaver Dam, and 2 to 5 on ESPN Milwaukee. Brad, he's not on the line yet. He will be soon. Riley, I think we brought it up a little bit with Evan, the irresponsibility of putting Billy Edwards Jr. out there, not only for his health, but for the team in general. But there's a third layer, and I don't want to dismiss his play. He had a horrible game. What does putting a Billy Edwards Jr. out there at 60% do to your starting quarterback of the first 3-4 games now, due to his confidence? That's horrible.
Yeah, and I didn't play college football. I didn't play high school football. I am not in Luke Fickell's position. I have never been in Danny O'Neill's position. But there's no way that can build any sort of confidence. You have a rough week at Alabama. You're looking to bounce back. You're looking to come out strong in a must-win game, a massive bounce-back opportunity and a program-saving opportunity for the Wisconsin Badgers. And Luke Fickell decided in a hypocritical fashion after saying he wanted to defend Billy Edwards Jr. from himself that, nope, we're going to try it with Billy. We're going to work with both. And I understand Billy's a tough guy. Wanted to play against his former team. I love listening to Billy Edwards talk. Great dude. Same with Danny O'Neill. Same with Luke Fickell, actually. I think he's all of this critique.
These are great people.
I think he's a great person. Yeah. But so far, he has not been a great coach for the University of Wisconsin. And I think he certainly did not help Danny O'Neill's confidence today. And when he came in, you could see that he didn't have it today. Again, maybe that's just his skill set, but you saw against Middle Tennessee, albeit inferior competition, when he plays with confidence, he can be a great quarterback. And we have not seen that whatsoever the past 2 weeks once that confidence has been shaken.
And he has two eyes, right? He saw Billy Edwards Jr. probably hobbled in practice, so it probably wasn't too encouraging knowing the guy who wasn't even getting all the first-team reps was trusted to go out there and start in front instead. 844-770-3776 is the ESPN Wisconsin Carbless talk and text line. List is more. We have Mike from Portage on the line at the moment. We can go over to him now. Mike, I think I'm about 10 feet from you.
We
have
How
you
are we
on the
doing
line
today, guys?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. Hey, just want to say Badgers need to bring back some powerhouse football.
Yeah, I would totally agree. And, I mean, we've already talked with you briefly, if you're available on Saturdays moving forward. But how do you feel Jason Eck, former Badgers, he's a Badgers alum, coaching down at New Mexico, Lance Leipold, we're trying to come up with solutions here. How do you feel about those names? You're a coach. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's tough, but you just kind of have to adapt. Adapt to what you have and work with the athletes that you have. And working with the athletes that you have and adapting your offense efficiently.
Is it fair to say that the Wisconsin Badgers team that we saw walk out there today, even though they didn't have their Saturday best, was miles better talent-wise than Maryland? I feel like there's so many different headlines you can pick today, but that's the most disappointing one to me, I think, is they lost to a team in Maryland that didn't even play that sound of a football game. I mean, again, you're a coach. They were committing penalty after penalty, trying to move Wisconsin down the field, and the Badgers still couldn't score of their own accord.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is super frustrating as a coach, but you have to look at it as like Maryland was giving us opportunities that we didn't take advantage of. Mm-hmm. And as a football coach, you have to be able to take advantage of those opportunities.
Yeah.
And that's the long and short of it is when your team that you're playing, the opposing team, gives you opportunities, you have to be able to take advantage of those, especially at the D1 level. You have to be able to take advantage of those.
Yeah, and I believe we saw on the sheet we were handed by some of your friends that you were undefeated. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct. We 6th grade Portage Youth football, just running between the tackles. That's our game plan is old school powerhouse football. We follow Wisconsin. Wisconsin, old school powerhouse football. Yeah, we run it. You bet.
So asking you about how to deal with losses and brutal losses like today probably isn't going to be too helpful.
No, but it's part of football, right? It's part of football and how you adapt. You just have to be able to make changes and make adjustments on the fly, which I do think Fickell does a good job at. Fickell does a good job at making adjustments. We just need to make those adjustments as a powerhouse Wisconsin football and come back ready to play the next team, next opponent.
There we go. Well, Mike, we're probably going to see you around here a little bit more. We appreciate the time. We're going to go through a couple more comments on our talk and text line here, but best of luck to the Warriors, right? Portage Warriors?
Yeah,
there we
Warriors.
go. There we go. Go Warriors. Awesome.
Big Portage contingent out here in Sun Prairie.
Portage is a nice place. I just drove through it a couple of weeks ago. I had a bachelor party in the Dells. You go right through Portage, and I wanted to stop for a little longer than a few minutes. So awesome stuff there. On our live chat on ESPN Madison and ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channels, please dial into that and let us know what you think. There was a comment that stuck out to me that I just lost. We've got On to Wisconsin basketball by Michael W. I know there's probably some eagerness there. Oh, my goodness, I just had it here. But,
yeah, CL bringing up a good point here in the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube chat. With 40K empty seats later this season, UW will be forced to make a change, like it or not. And I have to agree. If it's getting to the point where everything surrounding your football program is suffering, I don't see what else they can do. They have to make a decision that will, again, like the Luke Fickell decision, the hire did. It galvanized the fan base. Everyone was rallying around. I'm sure that helped with corporate sponsors and local businesses. They need to figure that out ASAP. Otherwise, they're going to be in a much deeper hole with everything than they are right now.
And Michael Glenn makes another great point, says good defense. I mean, it's hard to look worse than the offense. And then also said, and this is the thing that I think hurts us the most, when you play the schedule game at the beginning of the year, or if you do it throughout the year, Michael said Maryland was the one team I think everyone, even the most pessimistic fans, thought UW would beat on the rest of the schedule. I know Scott from Fort Worth, we might hear from him at some point. I believe he told us that Middle Tennessee State was the last win, so he's looking real bright right now.
Somehow, yep.
But even the most pessimistic fans are, at this point, it's looking more like realistic. I'll give you the credit, right? You called it ahead of the wave, because I think today was the day we really found out. We're saying 3-9. You'll beat Maryland, and then you won't get another win the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And that's the frustrating part, is this is the last win where I felt like regardless of the trajectory that this program was going to go, you could look at this one and go, Maryland's not ready. True freshman quarterback. This is going to be his first high-pressure environment. And it's fair to say now, after 4 games, he still hasn't played somebody in a high-pressure environment.
Yeah, and I think we all assumed we're Wisconsin, we're the Badgers. We are still better than programs like Maryland and Rutgers, and until last year, Indiana, the Northwesterns, the Purdues of the world. Purdue is playing Notre Dame tough right now. Wisconsin may be the worst team in the Big Ten at present.
I don't disagree with that. Yeah, it would be what? Wisconsin, Purdue, Northwestern, UCLA just had a coach firing.
Yeah, UCLA fired their coach in the middle of the season, and they're our peers.
Yeah, that's who we're hanging out with right now. We have – so this is where I screwed up. I thought – we're in a group chat here. I thought that Brad Nortman was on the line. It is Norman from Utah is on the line right now. Norman, I am so sorry. I was attempting to get to you earlier. Thought your name was a typo, but we're going to give you credit, Norman. Thank you for using the carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. How are you feeling after today? And I mean, Riley just made a pretty bold statement. I don't know if it's that bold anymore. Do you think Wisconsin is in the basement of the Big Ten?
Yeah, doing well. So I don't really want to talk about the game today, honestly. It was,
I don't blame you.
But now just kind of, trying to look for the next thing I can get excited for. And I think that's, probably our next head coach. So I just kind of had a little list here I wanted to go through. You guys have brought up some of these names. But, I mean, Lance Leipold from Kansas, obviously. UW Whitewater.
Yes, sir.
Powerhouse. Buffalo powerhouse.
Yep.
And now Kansas, he's turned around to a respectable program. And he's actually a minority owner in the Beloit Skycarp, so still, I think, has some ties to Wisconsin.
That's a
good
nugget.
Jason Eck, too. Yeah. You guys brought up Jason Eck. I think he'd be great. Another name, Matt Campbell, maybe, though. I mean, I could see what happened with Fickell happening to him, maybe at Wisconsin. And then I got two really dark horses. Probably out of the not into anyone's list, but if we could ever get Beal on the back, I don't know, maybe.
I feel like he left. He wanted to leave. He wanted greener pastures, and Arkansas wasn't it, but Illinois certainly looking like it.
Yeah, and then this one's kind of out of the basement here. Scott Tolzien, current quarterback coach for the New Orleans Saints.
Going back to his
I like
roots.
that, Norman. You wouldn't happen to own a company called Oscorp, wouldn't you?
No.
All right, just checking, Norman. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for the call, Norman. I think my favorite on that list was Lance Leipold, because not only because of the Wisconsin connection, good pull on the Skycarp. I didn't even know that one. But
Norman's got some intel, that's for sure.
Leipold took over an organization or a team, a school, and a culture in Kansas that wasn't in a great spot. Here's the thing about us, right? Like, Riley, you and I were born in 01. All we've known is winning and coming back and coming off a 10-2 season, and then that's how you win over recruits. Leipold went over to a Kansas school that was winning a few games a year and was actually able to resurrect. I think they need to go out and get a coach who has been through that resurrection before. And did you say they need a pope?
No, they do need a pope. I will be asking Pope Leo for prayers of intercession for the Wisconsin football team.
I think they need someone who's gone through that rags to riches storyline, and frankly, we've been spoiled because of what Barry built a while ago. Every coach after that has been, this team won 10-2 last year, and we were contending in the Big Ten title game. Yeah, come on and play for Wisconsin. Now you need someone who's really going to have you buy into the culture. I think that was part of the belief of Luke Fickell coming in. He took a Cincinnati team to the college football playoff before it expanded and thought, okay, he can build that culture. You need someone who has taken a program from its all-time low and brought it up to at least a competent spot. And right now we are in an all-time low, at least in the 2000s.
Yeah, you need a program builder, and I wish that Norman was still on the line. I'm pretty sure we hung up on him a little while ago, but we have Jay in the YouTube comments saying, don't listen to the other blank, who says Wisconsin can never be a top team in the nation. And maybe we didn't address this enough when Evan was on. But while I totally agree that we need a program builder, we need someone who can resurrect Wisconsin football from the dead, essentially. How do you feel about the statement that Evan made that Wisconsin shouldn't be gunning for a national championship? They should be gunning to win the Big Ten or just make the playoff, even if you can't win the conference.
It's sad because before we expanded to a 12-team playoff, I think there were teams that would have made the playoff.
Oh, there were 100%.
The Hornibrook team would have probably made the playoff.
2017.
Yep. So it makes me sad that we have to lower our expectations. And I think for a long-term goal, there's still a route to win a national championship, Riley. The matter of the fact is we're not a step away, though. we're like 13 steps away now. And maybe those teams that did the more boring version of college football where you're run heavy and you have really good O-linemen. I think the point he was trying to make is the teams that you see winning the national championship, the Ohio States, the Clemsons from a few years ago, even Michigan, although they were more run-oriented, they're a high-flying offense. They've got a solid defense. You have to be complimentary in all three phases of football, but they don't look like Wisconsin teams that we've seen. I think Evan was hovering around identity. We have not seen a team that runs the football the way that the Big Ten championship Wisconsin football teams did win the national championship. And I don't know if there is a reality where that identity wins it, but then you need to find a coach that's going to find the high-flying offense that we haven't really liked because it hasn't worked, and turn it into a 12-13 win football team that ultimately gets you through your conference championship and into the playoffs.
Yes, and I wish
that style can't win.
Exactly. I wish I had thought of Michigan when Evan was still on the line. I would have loved to ask him because I think that's, granted, it's one out of many.
It's an outlier,
but it is the counter example to that. Jim Harbaugh, albeit, is a sensational football coach, and he resurrected. That's the thing. Wisconsin probably needs a coach close to the caliber of Jim Harbaugh, because that's what he did at Michigan after the Rich Rod era, where a once proud program took a dive, hit the dumps. Michigan wasn't winning anything. He brought them back. It took a long time, and unfortunately, they showed a lot more positives than Fickell has, but they were able to win a national championship running the football with a game manager quarterback who we've seen in the NFL struggles when the game is on his shoulders. Not counting the Bears. Sorry, Corey, but the Bears are the Bears. That's totally different.
I think the Portage Warriors could beat the Bears at this point.
Potentially. It might be able to beat the Badgers. You never know. But Michigan was able to win a national championship with the identity. Granted, we did get a word from the bar here that they cheated. So maybe there it is. There it is. Wisconsin needs to go back to their identity and cheat. Okay. That's where we are
going
right
there.
Now.
We're off the rails.
Unfortunately.
844-770-3776. One more call from Brad from up north, and then we'll kick it to break here. Brad, how are you doing on this not-so-fine Saturday?
Well, you know.
I do know, Brad. We all know.
So, the thing that I think frustrates me the most about this is we're all upset, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
100%.
I mean, this even goes to like the basketball program, that I feel like Wisconsin itself doesn't realize how good they are or were.
Mm-hmm.
That there needs to be more urgency to be good. I mean, the basketball team was in the national championship, and now it's like, oh, well, if we lose in the second round, oh, hey, we made it. And the football team might be the worst in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Which is unacceptable. I mean, we were punching up at Ohio State. I mean,
we were in those games.
Yes. I mean, every year we're right there. We were not first class, but we were second class plus.
Yeah, 100%.
And now we're just bad. I mean,
we're playing down to teams.
Right. If this was Michigan, Fickell's fired in 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I feel like Wisconsin hasn't put enough respect on what they've built.
So I hear you in a sense, right? So are you saying that if they had more respect on what they've built and they had a higher standard, Fickell should have been gone last year? Is that what you're insinuating?
I would have given them another year because, but now, I mean, the team looks like they quit.
Yep,
they did.
3.5 games into the season.
Yeah. I think the buy-in is completely gone. The bag of goods we were sold in the offseason that a lot of us bought into as well, that this team was going to be different. They were going to run the football. They were going to return to the roots. That is all gone. The reason that I was on the Fickell train, at least before today, was I always say, be careful what you wish for when it comes to turnover. Even if it isn't great the first couple of years, continuity is key, man. I mean, if we want to fire head coaches every year until we find the right one, you're going to be doing that for a while until you find somebody who's won you over in 7-8 games. But, Brad, it has now been 2 seasons and 4 games. And the most recent one, I think that was the nail in the coffin, right? You saw it with the body language today.
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, and this is, you want to see improvement.
Yeah.
And,
We've seen regression.
They're getting worse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
And Brad, you sound a little bit older than me and Corey, as I believe we're both 24 years old. Are you familiar with Frank Solich and Nebraska and how they tried to hire him to bring them back to national championship glory, and it failed? It seems like we're in danger of becoming what Nebraska has been for the past few decades.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't been, they were the program. And look at where they are now. Now we stomp on them. I mean, they tried to bring in Scott Frost to do that too.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And now we are significantly worse and losing to teams like Maryland, starting a freshman quarterback who can't run the football, but somehow they can figure it out against the Badgers. It doesn't make sense.
You know, the hard part too is, okay, we're Wisconsin. We're not Nebraska, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now you have to bring in a coach that has a program in the dumps. I mean, then you're not going to pay them $15 million a year.
Mm-hmm. No, and I think, thank you so much, Brad from up north, for the call. The problem now that I want to make sure doesn't happen, let's go the 2 hypothetical routes. Either we ride it out for the season, or what we think might happen happens mid-season. The problem now is that the next coach, whenever that time may be, is inheriting an even worse program than Luke Fickell inherited, and I don't want to play the game where 2 years in, or even a year and a half in, there were people calling for Fickell's head, we go, it's still not better. Now, guys, we're going to have to be real patient, because this is not the Wisconsin team that we had in 2017. It's not the team we had in 2015. Hell, it's not the team we had in 2022. It has fallen the last couple of years.
This isn't even the team we had in 2018
No.
when they were ranked number 4 in the preseason poll, had national title aspirations, and then went 8-5 with a Pinstripe Bowl win over Miami. We didn't know how good we had it when we were winning the Pinstripe Bowl handily.
And so what I don't want to hear is when we have a new coach and we can't get recruits and we can't get NIL, I don't want the complaint to become, this person sucks. We can't bring in any talent. Why would you want to play here at this point? That is where this program is going to get stripped down to the studs. That's my prediction, at least. I think people are going to go flying out into the transfer portal. Vinny Anthony, I hope we hold on to him, but I also feel horrible for what's happened to him this year.
Such a good dude and a fantastic player.
He's trying to make a career out of this sport. You need to turn Wisconsin into a destination, and that is not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen next week. It's going to take a longer time than ever. You're going to have to go back to those 1-10 seasons when Barry was first coming in. That's the type of rebuild that we're going to have to expect. I don't think we're at the point anymore where it can get worse before it gets better. But it could.
You never know.
We were saying that last year. A lot of people were going, that's it.
70-0 loss at Michigan in a couple weeks, then it might get worse. But, as Jim said, I'll probably convince myself we're going to beat Michigan in a couple weeks. You never know.
We have
Jay Mias. Is there a way we can bring in a psychiatrist or therapist during this first bye week to hold a therapy session and try to figure out what's going on from a mental aspect? That's a great idea. Maybe for the jump around this Thursday. I'm in charge of booking guests for that show. I'll start looking into sports psychologists and see if we can get into the mindset of head coach Luke Fickell and this Wisconsin Badgers program and what is so wrong with it.
More from you next, and some audio from Luke Fickell,
the man himself,
on the other end of the break. This is the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day post-game show brewed by Coors Light. More in a minute.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Looking to join an international quality golf club right here in Madison? For a limited time at TPC Wisconsin, enjoy full golf privileges and all club amenities without full dues. Pay just $150 per month through March to maintain your full golf membership with no golf dues until April 1st. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Schedule a tour or submit a membership inquiry at tpcwisconsin.com and start enjoying the private golf club experience you deserve. That's tpcwisconsin.com.
Start your career where the road to success is paved in coffee. At Dunkin' Donuts. We're now hiring crew members and hourly shift leaders at our locally owned locations. Dunkin' offers flexible schedules, employee discounts, health and dental benefits, and paid time off. Plus, bolster your resume with our own leadership training program and even scholarship opportunities. Up to $1,500 per semester. Text Team Spirit to 85000 or visit teamtmart.com/careers to apply. Dunkin', America runs on you.
At Hard Rock Casino Rockford, the unforgettable experience goes far beyond the casino floor with the luxury of their dining and entertainment. Savor prime cuts and fresh seafood at Council Oaks Steak and Seafood, or explore 7 unique dining venues that deliver flavors from around the world. Then let the night ignite at Hard Rock Live, where the world's greatest acts take the stage. Hard Rock Casino Rockford, let's hard rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Wisconsin sports fans, Brian Balaga here from my friends at Surfside. Football season is back, and we're bringing you your tailgate must-have. There's nothing more refreshing than an ice-cold Surfside to enjoy while you cheer on your home team. Made with real vodka and real brewed tea, Surfside is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. It's not a seltzer, it's Surfside. Ask for it at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
It's kickoff time at Metro Kia Madison. Get ready to score big with unbeatable season-starting deals. Drive home the electrifying 2025 Kia EV6 with 0% APR for 60 months. $16.67 per $1,000 borrowed. Or go long with the all-new 2026 Kia EV9 at just 0% APR for 48 months. Only $20.83 per $1,000. But hurry, these championship deals end September 30th. Visit MetroKiaMadison.com to start your winning drive today.
Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment, and here's another great fundraising event in Madison.
Join us for Forward March, a celebration of the arts and community on September 28th from 1 to 4 p.m. at Barnwood Events in Madison. Help us honor Mike Lacrone's legacy and support affordable arts access through the Lacrone Arts Fund. With special guest Tom Wopat, UW alum and star of The Dukes of Hazzard, and honorary chairperson Tony Granato, it's an afternoon of music, meaning, and making a difference. Visit copamadison.org to learn more.
I will see you there.
We're on the Badgers.
Bottom line, we got to pick it up tomorrow.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
I don't want to see anybody walking out on that field with slumped shoulders. But this is a big game this week, and we got to bounce back.
This is 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
I got the magic in me. Every time I touch that track, it turns into gold.
But there's a lack of identity right now and trying to figure out what that is. And, there is some ups and downs that when things don't go well, that we've had a hard time in getting ourselves out of the hole.
We are in quite the hole, Mr. Fickle. Everlight Solar wants to help you save money and save the planet. Ditch the energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar, your local solar energy company based in Madison. Visit everlightsolar.com to learn more and make the switch today. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. This is the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day postgame show. Corey Sparks, Riley Yauk here at Monk's Bar and Grill in Sun Prairie after Wisconsin's 27-10 loss to Maryland. They were down 20-0 at the halftime break. You heard a little bit from Luke Fickell himself about the identity crisis that we are going through in year 3 of the Fickell regime. Got a new offensive coordinator now. Let's hear a little bit more from the head coach, and then we will go to Miles in Cottage Grove.
But there's a lack of identity right now and trying to figure out what that is. And, there is some ups and downs that when things don't go well, that we've had a hard time in getting ourselves out of the hole. And that's just unfortunate to where we are right now. When you've got a group of leadership, that it can be a good thing, but when you don't have a leader or the leader, it can be a little bit more difficult. I know that's what I am and I'm supposed to be and I need to be, but from within, it makes it a little bit more difficult. And I'll be honest, Billy has been that since he's walked in the door here, and he still continues to try to be that. But without him out there right now, it does leave a little bit of that void. But there's frustration in there. Don't get me wrong. Not everybody hurts. Everybody wants. And then there's some emotional things that are happening. But for the most, that's got to be the strength of who we are. And I don't overly worry about that. Keeping them and finding a way to create and generate more of an identity is to me the biggest thing.
Yeah, I respect the fact that he is taking accountability. Yep. And again, I think that goes to show that he is a very good person, and he does want what's best for this team, and he wants to figure out an identity. He knows what the problem is, but he can't fix it. And I think that's the biggest issue right now.
And I don't want to make hasty assumptions, but after he took accountability, I could tell you and I, through the first about 7 or 8 seconds, almost lost it because he was like, a leader needs to emerge.
Yeah,
and you and I are like, that's you. That is you. And then you said, and that is me. And
yes,
we're like,
okay.
All right, we let him finish the quote.
Yeah.
But then you heard him say that Billy has been a vocal leader. This is, let me just say, this is strictly speculation. But I wonder if a coach who came into this year under a microscope, came off of an ugly Alabama loss and was going into what everyone described and was a must-win game. I wonder if some of that desperation was riding on Billy being healthy, even if he wasn't, and now your vocal leader from the sidelines, he's a lot more powerful when he's the one touching the football every single play. I wonder if that eagerness jumped over the audio we heard earlier this week across ESPN Wisconsin about, we need to protect Billy from himself.
Yeah, I think that's a good guess. I'm not sure.
I need to have my leader out there. I need to have him calling the shots, but we very quickly realized he had a blown tire.
But I think what's even more important is having your leader, if a lot of the leadership falls on Billy Edwards Jr., is having your leader know his role for this game. And instead of it being up in the air, kind of wishy-washy, like, maybe he plays, maybe he doesn't, how about just have Billy let him, as the coach, you put him in the role like, hey, we're going to sit you one more week. We want you fully healthy for Michigan. You make sure Danny is ready to go for this game.
You're going to be his go-to guy after every series.
Yes.
He'll come to the sideline. He'll look over the tape with you, and you guys will go through the drive together. He can still be a leader that way.
Yes, you help
Riley.
Danny bounce back after the Alabama game. Instead of like, actually, you're going to be kind of commanding the troops today, but then, you came up kind of gimpy, never mind, and then he has to kind of take a back seat, and he probably feels off too.
Everyone feels bad about what happened today.
Yeah, and everyone feels off. And that, it's just, we're in year 3. We heard Luke Fickell talk about identity all of last year, all of his first year, and the fact that we're still having this issue now is unacceptable.
I mean, if you're having injuries, which the quarterback situation, again, that has happened. That's one thing. If you are occasionally playing down to an opponent or you have an off game, fine, whatever. But in year 3, if you are still trying to find out who you are, that's where, and again, I'm of the belief that turnover is horrible. We shouldn't be begging for it unless it needs to happen. That's where it needs to happen. If you don't know who you are after 2 seasons and some change, that's a huge issue. And building off of that, Peyton Cornelius is in our live chat on the ESPN Madison live chat. Again, you can chime in 844-770-3776 on the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. Liz is more. Said with NIL, it can happen overnight. Just because it can, that doesn't mean if Wisconsin goes out and gets all these talented players, take Clemson, for example, they were supposed to be a top 5 team, consensus top 5 team coming in. They slapped a ton of talent together. They had what we thought was the coach at the helm. That didn't work. I think everyone's getting really jealous and looking at what Indiana did under Cignetti last year and going, well, if they can do it and they're in our conference, why can't we? Look, the schedule is easier
next year. It does line up well.
It's gettable. So while I think it's great to imagine those things, that is also a one-off to have that flip, even in the era of NIL, because everyone else has it too. You've got to win the bidding war now. To have that type of flip in 1 year, it takes the perfect storm.
Yes, and I know a lot of comments in our YouTube chats and in my conversation, I've heard a lot of people say this. I don't know if Wisconsin has the NIL money to compete.
Nope.
To bring those guys in right now. And I'll be honest, again, this is just speculation. I personally have no idea what the Badgers' monetary situation is. I just know for a fact we've seen studies and debriefs on the most profitable athletic departments. Wisconsin has one of the top 15 most profitable athletic departments in the country. So there is that base of money there. But when it comes to donors, and especially when these donors don't believe in the current leadership, in what they're seeing on the field, they're not even they already have maybe a little tighter checkbooks than some of these other programs. There is no reason for them to open their pocketbooks right now.
And our very own Hunter Vaughn just said as well, remind them, I mean, look, if for everyone who's looking over at Indiana and saying, I want that, they're spending $20 million on NIL right now, right? So it's apples to oranges at a certain point while we look at different teams. Like we got a front row seat to the team over in Tuscaloosa. You literally did. You drove
I was,
there.
Yep. More of a back row seat. I was up near the top of the stadium. But
you were there, right? Boots on the ground. While it's tempting to go over and say we want that, not everybody has the same budget. That's a whole other conversation. If we want a salary cap and NIL, I know there have been talks about that before where people throw those thoughts out.
Yeah, and Michael Glenn, great point. NIL money gets lowered drastically if you pay out Fickle right now.
The sooner you do it, and the more you give up.
Exactly. And regardless, if they buy out his contract at the end of the year, that's costing an entire season of NIL money, $25 million a season plus of NIL money that you no longer have as you try and start from scratch.
And the 30-day transfer portal window opens up, and some of your blockbuster players all of a sudden get a free ticket to go and contend elsewhere. So you do open up a whole box there. 844-770-3776, the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. List is more. Feel free to call in or text in as well with your thoughts. I think I looked around, and I don't want to do the pointing of the finger game and say this guy had a bad game, this guy had a bad game, but one that was very noteworthy, especially in the first quarter and a half, even into halftime. What happened to Ricardo Hallman? I mean, what happened to the guy who had 7 picks a couple of years ago? How is a 90-something yard pick six against Rutgers? It felt like Maryland was picking on him. And it's one thing, Jeremy Bernard had a great catch over him, right? Alabama, you got Ty Simpson back there. He ended up proving to be a little better than we thought he was. But Maryland, one of the teams that's supposed to be a bottom feeder in your own conference, was picking on your best corner, or so we thought.
Yeah, and he's also supposed to be one of the senior leaders on that defense. And when you are getting abused by every team, he got picked on by Middle Tennessee. Don't forget that. He has regressed horribly, and I think that's sort of a microcosm of the Luke Fickell's tenure so far. We have not seen any tangible improvement. Jim Rutledge brought up the question, what has he done well? And I think outside of recruiting, there's nothing you can point to that he has done overly well as the head coach. And Ricardo Hallman regressing to a subpar Big Ten cornerback.
They're targeting him.
Very, very distressing, and unfortunately, just representative of where this program sits.
It's not a great place to be in right now, and you look at all the different layers. What are the donors going to think of the product on the field? How does that impact NIL? Is there going to be a search for a new coach soon? The hypothetical of if Fickle were to go, who do you elevate on this coaching staff that hasn't impressed any of us so far? There's a lot of questions to be had. When we return, since Jesse Nelson is here, I do want to bring up the running count that he had. There's a stat that he brought up in the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day pregame show that I want to bring up because the records have updated, and I'll lead that into a bigger point on the other end of the break. This is the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day postgame show brewed by Coors Light.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse isn't just a barbecue restaurant. Open daily for lunch and dinner, Liberty Station serves American comfort food with regional touches using many locally sourced ingredients. The bar at Liberty Station offers vintage cocktails created in a classic style, local craft beers, plus a wide array of wine options. And be sure to check out their sprawling patio with an indoor and outdoor porch area. Liberty Station, conveniently located just off the Beltline on Rimrock Road.
The Midwest's best baseball players have one thing in common: GRB Academy. For 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's leader in player development and advancement, producing over 468 college commits and 27 major league draft picks. Their Windsor facility has 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training space. Next up to bat is GRB's top prospect camp on Sunday, October 12th, open to the high school classes of 2026 through 2029. Claim your spot now at grbacademy.com.
Want to join the fastest growing home solar company in the nation and work in the fastest growing industry in the world? Everlight Solar has open positions in the Madison area and in their newly open Milwaukee location. As Wisconsin's largest home solar company, Everlight Solar offers great opportunities to gain new skills and advance your career. Don't miss the chance to join the Everlight Solar team. Visit everlightsolar.com to apply today. Save money, save the planet, and start with Everlight Solar.
This is a magical month at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, with 13 chances to win big every week. Starting at 6 p.m. each Friday in September, 12 winners will enter an enchanted forest and select a cash prize of up to $2,500. Then at 9 p.m. every Friday, one winner will open a door to reveal a grand prize of up to $10,000 in cash. Be here for our Forest of Fortune promotion happening every Friday night in September. Don't miss your chance for prizes all month long at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
Planning a corporate event, private party, or team outing? Madison Axe is your state-of-the-art entertainment spot. Whoa, you nailed it! Featuring 8 lanes of axe throwing, craft beer, and interactive games, plus digital target projection and scoring. For even more fun, check out their indoor backyard. 2,000 square feet of shuffleboard, cornhole, yard games, bar table games, and more. Book your corporate event or holiday party now, before their lanes fill up. Go to MadisonAxe.com or head to their location on Stoughton Road today.
It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesch Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, serviced, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesch.com to learn more.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
And the Horned Frogs of TCU are the winners over Wisconsin.
Wisconsin will drop its second straight game, fall to 9-4.
Win or lose. Welcome to the best after party in the state. This is the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day postgame show, brewed by Coors Light on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. Alongside Riley Oak, here's Corey Sparks.
I wish I could tell you it was going to be all right overnight. It will get better. The sun will come up tomorrow.
See, when I made this intro for the post-game show, I was really hoping we wouldn't have to use it much.
You're like, that, we'll put that in the back pocket.
Exactly. There'd be a lot of positive takeaways from the losses, and not so much today.
All good. Corey Sparks, Riley Yauk here with you at Monk's Bar and Grill in Sun Prairie. This is the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day post-game show. Reminder that winners go to Ho Chunk Gaming in Madison, the casino with the highest payouts in the area. Go be a winner at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. They're open right now and stay open until 2 a.m. on a Monday. Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. More spins, more wins, more fun. In the 27-10 loss for Wisconsin today, well before we saw triple zeros in the fourth quarter, you could hear on the broadcast on NBC or even over the radio as well if you were tuning in that way, the Fire Fickle chants coming from the student section, and they got louder and louder and louder as the game went on and as it became more and more clear that Wisconsin was not going to come out on top in a must-win game against Maryland today. Coach Fickell heard those chants, and here is his response to the student section and anybody else having those feelings who voiced their displeasures today.
As you can imagine at this point, a lot of frustration from the fan base. I'm sure you heard the chants during the game.
Oh, what did they say? Something? Yeah, I'm sure my family.
What's your message to the fan base?
Okay, I feel them. Yeah, I feel what they. It's. I feel what their pain is. But there's nothing that we can do other than keep grinding, keep working. We have to play better. So, I don't get upset. I don't. Lose my mind because of what the way they feel. They're passionate about what they do and what they want to see, and that's what you love about this place, and that's what that's what you signed up for when you came here, knowing that this place is passionate about it. They've got a history, and they expect more, just like I do.
Yeah, there comes an expectation, right? And he knows that's what he took over. He knows that his reputation preceded itself. He was coming off a great season at Cincinnati. He was the hot get.
He was
the hot ticket.
Guy. And there were bigger programs than Wisconsin pursuing Luke Fickell. And you can hear the pain in his voice. And this, I genuinely, I know I'm not alone in this. I genuinely feel really bad for Luke Fickell. I think he is a great person. Again, I think he's a great coach. It just hasn't shown up. We haven't seen the great coaching here at Wisconsin, and I think that was a great answer. I wish he hadn't been interrupted by the reporter, who I will see on Monday. When he was starting to talk about his family, it sounded like he was going to say something along the lines of that his family probably didn't appreciate it.
Yeah,
and you feel for all of the Fickles as well, but. I think it was a good answer. Like you said, there were expectations.
It's better than what Dabo
here.
Said before this week.
Yeah, exactly.
He basically pointed the finger and said, "Oh, if you want to stop winning, then I'll just leave." And Fickell took again.
Yeah,
he's a good guy.
He takes accountability. He is a very humble dude, and he knows. Again, we talked about this earlier. He knows what the issues are. He knows what has to happen.
Yep.
It's for some reason. And maybe I'll ask about this on Monday. There's a disconnect between him and his players right now, or maybe him and the rest of his coaching staff, because his message is not getting through.
Yeah.
His players, maybe they don't respect him. They're not buying what he has sold them. Maybe there's something we're missing that's going on behind the scenes. I have no idea. But for some reason, how Fickell talks, he has talked a big game. The players have talked a big game, and we have not seen them walk the walk so far. The past 2 years and 4 games, we have not seen any of the hype be fulfilled.
I just want to know where the defining moment was that derailed it. I think it happened at some point today or maybe before today. But, I mean, again, I bought into it. The preseason conferences, or the preseason media availabilities, you could tell Fickell had a quiet confidence to him. Everyone kind of had a smirk on their face. They were getting a lot closer. There's no doubt in my mind these guys love each other, and they're disappointed with what happened today. They're not. I at least haven't heard anything yet of guys ripping into each other and saying, it's your fault, it's not mine, no diva scenarios, nothing like that. It truly is just a results-oriented business, and I mean, today was a new low. We have Eric from Green Bay on the line. Oh, we have Pablo on the line right now. We'll welcome him on to the show. 844-770-3776, the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. Less is more. Pablo, we've seen this team talk the talk. We've been waiting for them to try and walk the walk, and today, again, it's a results-oriented business. They did not show up. I don't even know if Maryland fully showed up, but they got rewarded.
No, they did not show up today.
Going up against Wisconsin, just didn't have their A game today.
Yeah, I think you guys put it perfectly, is that it really came down to Wisconsin beating themselves. There's no other way to put it. You could tell that this team just constantly, early on, just had self-inflicted wounds. And you guys were talking about them earlier. I was just really jaw to the ground, too, seeing the deep balls that Malik Washington was letting fly. And usually you have a lot of confidence in Ricardo Hallman, but just what happened? I honestly, I just am so... I don't have words to really describe what it is. I put it out across social media as well, is that everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong for Wisconsin, unfortunately. And it felt like, too, that this was Wisconsin truly mentally prepared to come into this game after a tough loss. Look, we know that Tuscaloosa, that's going to leave a sting, but ultimately, did we think that the Badgers are going to come back and pull off that upset in Tuscaloosa? Realistically, no, but that's true. Thank you, Riley.
We've got the graphic to prove it.
There's the optimism there at some point. But truly, it was more of a test from the mental side of, is this team, and I felt confident. I said this too to start off. I felt like that this team could really walk the walk and talk the talk, and now it's this game, unfortunately, feels like a huge indication of where this program has been over the last couple of years since I've covered, is that it just feels like you can get out of this hole. Everybody's talking about this. We can get out of this hole, but the deeper it goes, the deeper you keep digging it for yourself. I mean, let's be real here too. It's just going to get harder and harder, and I think right now too, that's just honestly, guys, that's where I'm at right now, just based off of how today played out.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you're saying, Pablo. I think that's a really good synopsis of where we're at and what happened today. And the mental aspect, and you know this, Pablo, that's what I was most excited to see, especially this season. We've talked to a ton of the players. It seemed like they were mentally ready for this season. They had turned a new leaf. This was not the same football team we watched the past 2 seasons. I wanted to see what happened when they dealt with their first big loss, when they had to battle adversity. I did not think this team would wilt, and they didn't just wilt, they absolutely crumbled today, which I think is just the most crushing part to watch for me.
You felt that as well, unfortunately, is that nobody is happy in that locker room. I will say if there's a little bit of a silver lining here, which I get is very tough right now in this situation, but compared to, I look at how they lost to Northwestern a couple years ago and how deflating that loss was. We remember vividly Hunter Wohler calling out players, saying that, or not calling out players, but more so just the overall standard. What is this locker room made of? Saying that this wasn't the Wisconsin that he once knew. That was a straightforward statement. Now, we heard some of the players talk after the game too, and Joe Brunner, I think, really stood out to me in terms of the response. And it seemed like that, yes, guys are holding themselves accountable, but they're making sure that they pick each other up, which again is a small step in a better direction. Not saying that Hunter Wohler was, saying negative things per se, but just more of the tone is a little different. But again, you can say all the right things. You can say that this is all kumbaya on the locker room, but really when it comes down to it, you also have to have results here too. And I think again, there were small things. They know exactly the things that they did wrong. Now the other side of it too, and Christian Allegro was pointing this out too, is what almost feels like right now the difficult thing is that they can't execute the fundamentals as well as they'd hope to, which, I'm not gonna lie, guys, is pretty concerning. Hey, you can prepare all you want, you could come up with game plans. That was the whole point too with Billy Edwards today as well, was they had a plan. Luke Fickell had said that his concern was what was going to happen in a contact situation, and unfortunately they ran into a little bit of those things from what it looked like, or what was it going to be like if Billy was going full 100%. They had an idea of how to potentially execute, but that wasn't going to play out completely to fruition, or there was a risk there rather. And I think that again is the risk that they ran. They went with it. They knew that Danny was going to be ready to go, but again, it's just there was a lot up in the air, and unfortunately, it just did not pan out for Wisconsin.
Pablo, we had somebody here at Monk's Bar and Grill in Sun Prairie drop the note that Wisconsin football does not work without a 4+ star running back. Your Ron Danes, your Melvin Gordons, your more recently Jonathan Taylors. Until somebody like that walks through the door, the current offense is going to struggle. And we've been talking about the word identity a lot today, that Wisconsin has just lacked it. They've been trying to figure out who they are. But, Pablo, whether it's through recruitment of a high school player or somebody in the transfer portal, how do you attract a talent like that, or at least get to a spot where you can attract a talent like that when you're struggling with square one concepts like fundamentals and identity, which we're still looking for today?
I wish I had the answer, and I'll go with what Luke Fickell said too. Guys, trust me, I wish I could really figure out what it is. I mean, maybe it's a little bit of the depth, maybe it's a little bit of the talent. I mean, there are guys, the young up and comers that could do some pretty special things. Now, those guys just need more experience. That's the tough thing right now, is that you do have some of these potential 4-star, even 3-star consensus guys that came in, but also look at the offensive line too, and how, down bad. There's no other way to put it that the offensive line is right now, unfortunately, and that showed. You saw it in the snaps, and everything just crumbled from there, unfortunately, where the offensive line, just about everything. So I really wish I knew exactly how to make Wisconsin attractive again to these top-tier recruits in this new era of the NIL and transfer portal and all of this right now. But right now, it's just I don't exactly know. I truly don't know exactly what that magic formula or what that is really when it comes down to it. It is just frustrating, honestly, to see, though, that Wisconsin is still at this point in trying to find its identity.
Yeah, Pablo, I think, frustrated. I'm going back and forth between angry and depressed right now. I get angry watching Purdue hang around with Notre Dame right now. They're about to cut this game to a 1-1 score. Nebraska's tied with Michigan at half. And then depression, seeing some of these videos that the reporters are putting out of the players who are just utterly dejected after this game. And Pablo, quick before I ask my real question, were you at Fickell's press conference and player availability, or just one or the other?
Fickell had a little bit of player availability. Some of the guys I got to hear from, Christian Allegro, Joe Brunner, and like I said, those guys are typically the bigger voices on this in this group. And I just wanted to hear just the overall consensus. I mean, those guys are guys that, they look to what this leadership group is, because we knew coming into this season, captains, you didn't have your traditional 4 captains. You had, I believe, the 14-person committee, essentially, the leadership group. So yeah, just trying to see what guys had to say. But yeah, Riley, I think dejected is unfortunately a perfect word right now. It almost feels like right now we all knew that there was a lot of pressure coming into this season with this schedule, with even whether we want to call it a hot seat or whatever the case is that this has to be a prove-it season for Luke Fickell in year 3. There's a lot of pressure. Don't get me wrong. We can address the elephant in the room, and who is feeling that pressure now, and how are they dealing with that pressure? And it just feels like right now, I mean, hey, there's a lot of season ahead of them, but after this bye week, we all know very well it doesn't get much easier.
Yeah, well said, Pablo. We appreciate the time for you so much. I guess last question I have for you before we let you go is, you get the bye week to take a breather, take a beat, and then it's back to it against a team that won it all a couple of years ago, up against Bryce Underwood in Michigan. What do they even do to retool? I know there's so many questions flying around right now about leadership, about Fickell, about identity, about if Wisconsin's going to win another football game this year. That becomes a legitimate question after a performance like today. I mean, you've covered the school and the team for a while. What do teams usually do on a bye week, and how does what happened today maybe change the schedule for Wisconsin and what they could be trying to do the next 2 weeks?
I mean, honestly, for me, it feels like it's going to be a fair balance of course, you want to get healthy, you want to recover, recoup, and be ready and feel like you're ready to go as you prepare for this gauntlet. But it seems like guys are also ready to put their heads down and get to work, too. Like, it seems like that they want to take a look at what exactly went wrong. I think I've been around teams, too, where they've all said it's about looking at the man in the mirror. And I don't think that this team is any different. I think that this team is ready to do that. Now, again, it's like I said, it's about talking the talk too, but also walking the walk. How are they going to execute? How are they going to plan? How are they going to recover? Because there's a lot of different things up in the air. So that's what I would say too is, again, yes, you want to get healthy, you want to recover, but also you got to get ready to turn the page and know exactly how are you going to fix these things moving forward.
Awesome stuff. Pablo, we appreciate the time as always. Obviously not the best occasion today, but your analysis with going to Fickle's availability and the player availability means a ton to us, and we appreciate you, my friend.
All right, thanks, boys.
All right, that is Pablo Iglesias of our team here at ESPN Madison. Corey Sparks, Riley Yauk here with you at Monk's Bar and Grill in Sun Prairie, reminding you that you can experience a banking relationship where your goals are their priority. Talking about Starion Bank. As a community bank with a commitment to Dane County, Starion Bank redefines local banking in the Madison area. Visit one of their convenient branches in Middleton, Sun Prairie, or Monona today, or online at starionbank.com. There's a lot of people in the ESPN Wisconsin Cardless Talk and Text line asking what were to happen if Fickell were to go. Obviously, then an interim is appointed for the rest of the season. We'll give that a little bit of thought next. This is the ESPN Wisconsin this is the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day postgame show on ESPN Wisconsin.
Postgame reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Starion Bank redefines local banking in Madison. As a community bank with a commitment to Dane County, experience a banking relationship where your goals are our priority. Enjoy competitive deposit and loan rates and a partnership that thrives on local engagement and support. Starion Bank is more than a full-service financial institution. It's a community pillar dedicated to your prosperity. Visit one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, or Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, offering banking, lending, mortgage, and cash management.
Electric bills are out of control, but with federal incentives, you can go solar with zero upfront cost and start saving hundreds a month. Badgerland Exteriors and Solar is a local and family-owned company, and they make the switch to solar simple. No pressure, no hassle, just honest.
AJ with Badgerland Exteriors here. Contracting made easy is more than a tagline. It's how we run our family business. Visit BadgerlandExteriors.com to get started on your next project. That's BadgerlandExteriors.com.
Brian here from Canopy Wealth Management. At Canopy, we create strategies that are tailored to your needs and goals. We've invested heavily in client-friendly software so your assets and plan progress are available to view in one place at any time. Whether you prefer only the high-level information or enjoy the intricate details of the planning process, we've got you covered. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Moms and dads, do you wish you could know where your kids' shoes are at all times? Now you can with Skechers' newest Apple AirTag compatible sneakers, Find My Skechers. It's the latest genius invention from Skechers, the comfort technology company. With Find My Skechers, there's a clever hidden AirTag compartment under the shoe's insole. You just pull up the insole and pop in the AirTag. It's sleek, secure, and your child can't feel it or see it. Then you can check where your kids' shoes are on the Find My app. Imagine that, just one look at the phone and you can see where your kids' shoes are. No more wondering or worrying. It's as easy as that. Plus, they're machine washable and durable, so they're long-lasting. And Find My Skechers are available for boys and girls. Look, we all know Skechers is famous for comfort, and now they're giving us comfort of mind when it comes to our kids. Get Find My Skechers, Skechers' newest Apple AirTag compatible sneakers at Skechers.com, a Skechers store near you, or wherever kids' shoes are sold. Apple AirTag sold separately.
Get ready to unleash the dragon at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Introducing the region's very first $1 million Dragon Link slot games. With jackpots soaring to $1 million, your chance to hit it big is here. Come experience the ultimate gaming adventure. Visit Hard Rock Casino Rockford today and play the $1 million Dragon Link slot games. Your legendary win awaits. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's hard rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Matt LePay for Steinhoffels. Steinhoffels is a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Since 1934, Steinhoffels has been Wisconsin's furniture and mattress destination for quality, selection, and service. For over 90 years, Steinhoffels has helped Wisconsinites create the homes of their dreams and is 100% employee-owned. Steinhoffels has the largest selection of all the latest styles and all the best mattress brands. You'll find something for every style and every budget. Shop in-store or online at steinhoffels.com. Relax, it's Steinhoffels.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
We're on the Packers.
This NFC North is a two-team race.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
Green Bay already showcased where they're at. The North is not going to be the best division in football this year.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Used to keep it cool, used to be a fool. All about the bounce in my step. Watch it on the news, what you gonna do? I could hit refresh and forget. Used to keep it cool.
The ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day post-game show continues here on 100.5 ESPN Madison, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, the ESPN Madison and Milwaukee YouTube channels, and the ESPN Wisconsin app. Corey Sparks, Riley Yauk here with you at Monk's Bar and Grill in Sun Prairie, reminding you that our friends at Liberty Station are running a game day shuttle program during home games this football season. For just $20, get a Coors Light and a round-trip ride to Camp Randall. It all starts at Liberty Station, American Tavern, and Smokehouse, located off the Beltline on Rimrock Road. 844-770-3776 is the carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. Less is more. That's the number. Eric from Green Bay called. Eric, how are you doing, my friend?
I guess we can only go up from here. How are you guys doing?
That's a good way to put it.
Exactly. We could have a great rest of our evenings, right, Eric? all the terrible stuff already happened.
I give you guys a lot of credit for you're putting on a good show, and obviously it's not it hasn't been a fun day, but we're kind of weathering the storm here.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'll kind of dive right in. I have a couple of random points. The nice thing about being on hold for a while is you kind of have time to listen and react and kind of hear what you guys are talking about and take some notes. One, there was some conversation on NIL, and I don't think anybody really knows where that's going to be like. Or sorry, with the potential buyout with Fickle.
Yeah.
One factor, I think when Paul Chris was fired, the UW Foundation, obviously they were able to negotiate with Chris and get that number down. I would imagine something like that could be in play for Fickle, even if it's $7-8 million. But I think the UW Foundation essentially covered the cost for the rest, so that's not necessarily coming out of the athletic department.
Okay.
It's probably not something they want to do again within a few years, but I think Jim Rutledge also, when he called, he brought up a really good point. It's not just considering the $25 million going out; it's considering all the money from donors, boosters, and small companies. Even the big thing I haven't heard anybody talk about yet is we have a major apparel contract expiring at the end of the year with Under Armour. For those not familiar, I think it was in 2016 we signed a 10-year contract north of $100 million with Under Armour. The way it works now is I think if they have a 30-day right to match any offer we would make with a different company, whether that's Jordan, Nike, Adidas, etc. But one would imagine that the performance and the future prospects of the football team is going to come into play for negotiating like any of these businesses, right? Like if we're going to put our brand on your uniform, what are we going to do to get better? So I don't know if, and that's a massive, right? You're talking $100+ million. That's 10 years ago.
Of money.
That number is going to go up now. It's kind of a fascinating outlook if even that single contract impacts money going in and out either way and what they would do from a coaching, because I'm sure they're going to want to give Nike or Under Armour some assurances, we're worth this money. And it's a 10-year contract. This isn't year to year with a smaller community sponsor. So just something else to consider there. I can kind of dive into the second point. When we're talking about a lack of identity, I think one thing that I used to really appreciate about Wisconsin football is you could look at things that we did well, whether it was obviously, I want to keep rehashing points of our running game, our offensive line, our linebackers. But I think more importantly, any game you looked at, there was and even some of these, we would win these ranked games, whether it was LSU, Ohio State. They weren't on a consistent basis, but they happened. And the thing was, you had a formula to win. And what that consisted of was playing relative mistake-free football, winning in the trenches, having a few things go your way to whether it's that big defensive stop and getting a touchdown. But there was times like, I know Barry Alvarez jokes about getting a lead and then just bleeding the clock out. We were never a team that when we got behind, we were forced to pass the ball. So there was a formula to win and there was a formula to lose. If you want to beat the Badgers, you would stop them at what they do good, running the ball, right? And if you could stop that and force them to pass or get an early lead, it was often game over. On the other hand, if we got an early lead, we were a team that could essentially, we didn't have to score more points, we just had to run all the time. And what really frustrates me with a team now is like, I don't know how we win games. I look at any position group, any side of the ball, offense, defense, special teams. And again, we weren't, I don't think we were a Billy Edwards away from even being relatively competitive today. So when we talk about a lack of identity, sadly, I think that's everywhere. And not to, nitpick too much on you guys when you say like, well, I think Luke Fickell knows I don't know if he does know what's wrong, because if he did, some things would be there. He would have at this point fixed some things. And the sad reality is, if you look at the progression under him from 6 wins to 5 to what's likely going to be less, not only are the wins going down with a harder schedule, but it seems like performances in these individual position groups and the identity is getting worse too. So that's a little concerning, right? If you were to take over, like you guys are at Monk's Grill right now, if you guys are given the keys and say you're going to run this business for the next 2 years, I think the first thing you would look at is, okay, well, what do we do good, right? What are we doing to get people in the doors, and whether it's the appetizers, curds, et cetera, we want to keep that. What are things that could improve, right? But I think the problem was when we brought Fickle in, unfortunately, we got rid of everything we did good, and we started from scratch, and now we're not even getting those staples in. And I think that's one of the biggest concerns. And then the last point, and you guys can cut me off now. I don't want to use this model.
No, you got great stuff, Eric.
You're all good. We'll let you cook. Yep.
All righty. This is your show. Lastly, I look at, you guys have brought up even Indiana and wanting that quick turnaround, and I think that does paint the picture. Like when you do have those things striking the right, things line up perfectly, relatively easy schedule, bringing over the right transfers, that energy and things, how they line up. I think what's tough for me is even seeing Illinois, right? Like they used to always be both geographically and in the standings like a little brother to Wisconsin.
Yep.
And then we see them doing with Brett Bielema, who wasn't successful at Arkansas, kind of bounced around the NFL, and now is Wisconsin fans were a little cocky when he signed with Illinois. They're like, oh yeah, enjoy Bert, and now he's doing great. And so I think there are enough examples, and even the counterpoint to the argument of we're not in the Big Ten West anymore.
Yeah.
It's harder now with the expansion. We're still losing to the Big Ten West, right? Obviously Maryland wasn't it, but we're getting by Iowa, Minnesota, Nebraska, our rivalry games, and then we're losing against the bottom feeder. So we scored 3 first-half points this entire quarter, and that's when it should be at the easiest, when you have the scripted offense on your first few drives. It's incredibly bleak. And the last thing I want to say, I think early last year, one of the times my calls were cut short, I made a comparison, and I said, as Wisconsin fans, I think if you were to rank your least favorite, which coach do you hate the most? Who would you say in college football? What coach would it be?
Ooh. PJ Fleck, of course.
Yeah.
It's an easy one for me.
I'm not a big Kirby Smart guy, but that's a little far out from us.
He's corny.
And he's just,
look at this. Yeah, look at this guy.
Exactly.
And Minnesota sucks.
It seems disingenuous. It seems like he seems to lack like true authenticity. It seems like he's more of like a brand, and just seeing the way he's bouncing around on the field, like doing the Keebler elf, and it's like this isn't a real person. This isn't.
Yeah, it's a character.
Like,
a caricature.
What is going? But at the same time, he's a character. But and I don't want to equate Fickell to that. But like last year, the point that I made was like, well, like we like to point fun at PJ Fleck, but like, I mean, arguably he's done more with Minnesota than Luke Fickell has done, and Luke Fickell's 0-2 against them, and at this point, looks like we might even go 0-3, and it's I think that's one of the things that hurts the most is like when if you're comparing him even to his peers in the Big Ten with, again, whether it's now Bielema who's overachieving or PJ Fleck who's even making Minnesota slightly more respectable than they used to be, but clearly the last 2 years better than us. It's a lot. It's a tricky spot to be in, and I don't know where they go from here. You guys float out hypothetical names on, Davos Sweeney or anybody. I don't think the name, if they do go a different direction, has to be a big, sexy hire. And I just point out, look what the Packers did with Jeff Hafley. Everybody was like, who? When they signed this guy, now he's one of the hottest names in coaching. I think, I would rather have a guy that's kind of up and coming and can bring in some life, and whether he has state ties, or is just committed to that, but probably also going to be a little bit cheaper. I don't necessarily want a coach and a brand that, I mean, if Clemson doesn't want him now, why should we? Right? That's my thought. Is if he's working himself out of a job in a culture that he's built and been a national championship winner, and I don't necessarily think, okay, well, if Clemson is willing to part with him after all the good he did there, with having no connection or ties to the state and the program, are we just doing more of the same? Not to mention if that doesn't go well,
that's totally
at
fair.
Another big time buyout. And
Eric, I'm going to cut you off now.
I'll let you do it. I'll let you do it. Yep.
But
we appreciate you, Eric.
Thank you. Yeah, I think when it comes to looking for the next coach, and this is why I wanted to cut in, I had this thought, is on the Barry Alvarez show, they had Matt LePay on this past week. And they had a great conversation reminiscing on the glory days. But the biggest thing that stuck out to me, Jesse Nelson, who's here right now, actually asked a great question about what does he see in Luke Fickell similar to what he saw in Barry Alvarez when Barry was building up that program. And Matt gave a great answer, that Luke was looking for players for where the W means something. And right now, I know we're not seeing that on the field, and that Luke Fickell's time, he's probably on borrowed time right now at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. But moving forward, I want to bring in a guy where to him, even if he doesn't have ties to the state of Wisconsin or the university, the W has to mean something to him. And he has to get guys where the W means something to them, because we cannot, as a program, move forward with players and a coaching staff that quits in the second quarter against a bad Maryland team.
And then we're celebrating because a penalty got pulled in kick coverage when we're down 17-0.
Exactly. Yeah, we're laughing and happy about Jaden Ballard decleating someone and not getting flagged for it.
It's
that
body
is
language.
where we're at.
Yeah, if you have somebody in place that cares about the W, and you've also gotten them to get the players to invest in what the W means, that doesn't happen. And the sore body language we saw by the second quarter doesn't happen either. I mean, nobody was happy with the sequence that we saw right away. Billy Edwards Jr. comes in for a few snaps, then he goes out. Oh, my goodness, what are we doing? And then before that, we have a blocked field goal. Then after that, we get bad snaps. We get a Danny O'Neal interception. But even after that, it was only 7-0 after everything I just named, and they already thought the game was over.
Exactly.
And it was because of that body language and that attitude and that in times of adversity, lack of buy-in. I have no doubt they were bought in at the beginning of the season.
Exactly.
You need someone who can get his players, and you need the right players for this too, to be bought in when you're down 7-0 against Maryland, and it feels like the sky is falling.
Exactly.
And it kept falling because we don't have that right now.
Yep. Unfortunately, and we've talked about the fans too today, the fans aren't bought it anymore. Adam Mertz texts our pregame group chat from his college buddy's 15-year-old who experienced his first game day today in Madison.
Oh, no.
Terrible.
I'm so sorry.
Even against Maryland.
Yeah.
Just terrible. That is it. One word. And That's the thing. If we as a fan base, as proud Wisconsin Badgers, if we want to keep everything that makes this program so great, all the accolades of the best college town in the world, all of the great traditions we have, we need to win.
Yeah.
No one was coming to Madison for football games, for tailgates. No one was coming for our great culture in the 80s and the 90s. All of that stuff came after. And now we're at risk of everything that makes Wisconsin so awesome. And the best place in the country, as Evan Cohen of Unsportsmanlike said earlier, the best place in the country to come watch a football game.
Yeah.
Like where I'm going to Alabama last week, and I'm like, Wisconsin's better than this, at least on game day.
The atmosphere's great.
Our atmosphere's better here. That will go away if things don't change soon, and that also is very concerning. The W has to mean something to everyone.
Agreed, Riley. 844-770-3776 is the cardless ESPN Wisconsin Talk and Text line. Liz is more. We have Jordan hanging on the line from Wisconsin Dells. Jordan, we appreciate you hanging on here.
Hi, guys. Good job today.
Thank you,
appreciate
Jordan.
you. What do we got, Jordan? Oh, are we losing him?
Hello?
Hello?
Yep,
Yeah,
we got you, Jordan.
You guys hear me? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we got you.
Today, obviously very disappointing. Today with the result, I was at the game, and I never heard in my 25 years as a season ticket holder hearing a chant from the student section to fire a coach, and it's obviously frustrating listening to Sports Talk Radio throughout this week. Some of the national pundits talking about the state of Wisconsin football and talking about, well, they've never won a national championship. And, I think a realistic Wisconsin fan doesn't expect us to win a national championship, but certainly expects more than a 27-10 loss against Maryland or last season, getting blown out versus Iowa, Nebraska, et cetera. And I just would be curious your guys' thoughts. McIntosh, obviously, 3 years ago, I don't think anybody could argue with the hiring of Luke Fickell. He took a big swing and missed, and it hasn't worked out. And, not that Luke Fickell's a bad coach, but obviously the results have been pretty disappointing. And with some of the other issues with the athletic department, especially on the girls' side with girls' basketball and track. And I don't know, what are your thoughts on, I hear the student section going, fire Luke Fickell. What are your thoughts on the athletic program as a whole? And I guess I just would be curious to hear your thoughts, guys. Thank you.
I think a lot. Yeah, thank you for the call.
Appreciate it,
Jordan. I think when you have a football program that's accomplished what Wisconsin has the last handful of decades, you can cover up a lot of other issues. I think you bring up the women's basketball program. People have voiced some frustration with that, and you can go to different areas of Wisconsin athletics where people have had frustrations. But
women's soccer,
track and field. But when you have a team that you feel like you can just hang on, the model of consistency, a lot of people looked at the 5-7 season and said, what would it have mattered if they took the handout bowl eligibility thing, even though they weren't qualified for it? What would it have mattered if they went 6-6? That streak of just at least being a 500 football club, that's what a lot of donors and people who believed in this program were holding on to. And now all of a sudden, when football isn't doing well and you redirect your focus elsewhere and you go, well, how's this sport doing? How's this sport doing? How's this section of UW athletics doing? How has this looked as of late? I think that is a fair question to start to look back at the bigger picture when maybe a sport you were fixated on for at least being competent for 2+ decades has now collapsed as well.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, Corey. When you have a good football team, it's really easy to ignore everything else going on in the athletic department. And I'm not calling for anyone's job here, but I do think the athletic department has a lot of areas to improve upon. There are a lot of allegations laid against them right now. We don't have any confirmation. We don't know, but the allegations do not sound good. And when your flagship program starts to decline and has looked as bad as Wisconsin has over the past few years, like you said, Corey, you start to look at everything else like, maybe if McIntosh made a mistake with Fickle, what else did he make a mistake
Yeah, what's
with?
been going on the last few years
and
here?
You look at the construction of the new, I believe it's going to be the Kellner Athletic Complex. I may be getting the donor's name wrong there. But the new football complex, they don't have a competition track inside of it, which the track team needs to compete at a very high level. And our track team is excellent. And they don't have the right facilities. They don't have Big Ten level facilities and won't moving forward. Now with the shell destroyed, you have the allegations. And outside of women's hockey, men's basketball, I think, is in a very good spot right now. And, I mean, track and field outside of that is a very good program.
Softball struggled.
Yep. Wrestling doesn't have any money right now. There are a lot of areas of large concern right now at UW Athletics. And I worked at UW Athletics. I know a lot of people there. I don't have any inside information. I've been gone for a while. Just wanted to put that out now.
So if you're digging for that.
Yes, none of this is insider information. This is speculation. But I love a lot of people who work there. There are a lot of great people there. But that being said, there are a lot of areas that need to be improved in the institution as a whole.
And you're going to be put under a magnifying glass when you see the fall off that we've seen with just a segment, right? Football is just one of many sports that they have falling off in the nature that it has. Again, the hire of Luke Fickell when it happened, I think everybody was going, we got the home run hitter. He was considering bigger schools who were, again, we were coming off 9-4 and 7-6 seasons, considered in better spots than we are now. Unfortunately, this program has regressed, and Jordan brings up a great point with that bigger picture question there. We are going to step aside for a quick break. When we come back, we'll give you a look around the Big Ten. This is the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day postgame show from Monk's Bar and Grill in Sun Prairie, brewed by Coors Light.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar, the better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Listen to that endless pour. Pure refreshment. If it sounds this good, just imagine how it tastes. Oh yeah, so good. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
Every team needs captains and playmakers, and Madison and Dane County Pizza Hut locations are looking for both. They're hiring managers to lead the crew and drivers to deliver big wins and pizzas. Find part-time or full-time roles with flexible hours, plus full benefits for those who work 30 or more hours per week. Whether it's running the huddle or making plays on the road, there's a spot at Pizza Hut for you. Apply today at jobs.pizzahut.com. That's jobs.pizzahut.com. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesh Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, service, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Jim Rutledge here. What is a better buying experience? Well, that's the thing. You get to define it. It is the experience that is customized to you. What experience do you want at a car dealership? They can be your trusted friend or your trusted expert. So if you're in the market for a new or new-to-you Silverado, Colorado, Blazer, Trailblazer, remember, you're only minutes away from a better buying experience. And that's at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Well, you and I, we make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and if you get your picks right, you can cash in. Prize Picks puts their users first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Prize Picks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. Prize Picks also offers injury reboots. If one of your players leaves the game in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks won't count it as a loss. Prize Picks is the best way to cash in this football season. Which players are going to go off? Which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your takes into cash all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Join millions of users and sign up today. Download the app, use code WI to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WI to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
Stoughton Health provides comprehensive and compassionate care to Stoughton community and the entire Madison area. From our sports rehab facilities in Oregon and Stoughton to our renowned ortho team with Dr. Ravel, Stoughton Health can help. Learn more at stoughtonhealth.com.
This is our crew.
And a called third strike right down the middle with a sinker. Come all without, come all within. You'll not see nothing like the mighty Quinn.
Madison's home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball. 100.5 ESPN.
You are listening to, or watching, if you're on YouTube right now, the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day post-game show. It's time for our Metro Ford of Madison college football scoreboard update. Metro Ford of Madison is Madison's trusted Ford dealer. Whether you need to purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford, Metro Ford is the place to go. Visit Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today, or go to their website, metrofordofmadison.com, to see this month's specials and browse their inventory. Riley, take it away, my friend.
Alrighty, I'll just pretend I'm the producer of this show and
go.
do it the exact same way. Try and keep the pep in my step after a brutal afternoon of football. But good afternoon, Wisconsin. My name's Riley Elk, and this is your Metro Ford of Madison college football scoreboard update. Let's start in the Big Ten, the Civil War. Number 6, Oregon, destroying in-state rival Oregon State. Looks like Oregon State will remain winless. They're up 38-7 with 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Michigan and Nebraska in the third quarter, thanks to a Hail Mary as time expired at the end of half. Nebraska tied up with number 21 Michigan 17-all with 10 minutes remaining in quarter number 3. Notre Dame and Purdue are currently in a weather delay. Right before the delay, it's right before halftime as well. There's a minute 30 remaining in quarter number 2. Purdue strip sack of Notre Dame, and they recovered. They have the ball inside the red zone of Notre Dame. They're down 28-13, a chance to make that a one-score game heading into half once the rain finally subsides. Obviously, we know Maryland thumped Wisconsin 27-10. Iowa, another one of Wisconsin rivals, beat Rutgers yesterday 38-28. And tonight you have Illinois, number 9. We've mentioned them today, as well as number 19, Indiana. That's the big game this evening in the Big Ten. And that'll do it for my Metro Ford of Madison scoreboard update.
Nicely done, sir.
Man, I think if you're looking at every other team in the Big Ten, you'd rather be just about any other one.
Yeah. That's
aside from Wisconsin.
A fair analysis. The 4 games I was picking out, it doesn't even matter anymore because I think we're on a fast track to a not great spot now that this Maryland game has happened. You never know, I guess. But I was thinking bowl eligibility comes through wins against Maryland, Washington, and the 2 rivalry games in Iowa and Minnesota. So I was watching that Iowa game very closely, very ready to make some claims.
Yes.
Until
today.
Until today. And until the last, handful of minutes in that game, because Rutgers was controlling them going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
The offense over there looked anemic, and then it spiked alive with a few minutes to go.
Yeah,
partially aided by a penalty.
Yes, I will say that defensive holding call Rutgers had. Iowa was going to punt. They had no momentum. I think Rutgers probably wins if they don't commit that defensive hold. But credit to the Hawkeyes, Kirk Ferentz, Mark Gronowski. They showed some fight.
They did.
And they dominated those last 7 minutes, which was enough to win the game.
Yeah, I think until the last 7 minutes hit, I was ready to do the whole, Iowa lost to Rutgers and Wisconsin beat Rutgers by a ton with Braden Locke last year. Therefore, through transitive property, which you should never apply in sports,
yes,
the Badgers are going to be a bowl team. And now here we are, a little under 24 hours later.
Much different feel going into the fourth quarter of Iowa Rutgers than we feel right now at 4:43 p.m. on Saturday afternoon. Brutal day.
ESPN Wisconsin Carbless Talk and text line is 844-770-3776. You can also chime into the live chat in the ESPN Madison and Milwaukee YouTube channels for our live stream. Dr. Mabuse, I think is how you'd pronounce it. I do want to bring this one up because it's a hypothetical that is actually very real. It's not so much of a hypothetical at all. If you were a recruit at the game today, if I was a recruit, that's the hypothetical, but there were recruits at the game today. Were you impressed? I mean, that's where this really hurts.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
The obvious
that's the one good thing that Luke Fickell has tangibly brought to the Wisconsin Badgers program. Paul Christ, when he left, had no recruiting department. It was literally 5 guys and an electrician or something along those lines. And I'm not really exaggerating. There was no recruiting department when Chris left. Fickell changed that. He brought in a great team, and they've done an excellent job. But again,
this is the product you're showing.
You need to win, and you can't look that horrendous. You need to show some flashes, which we have seen in the past. Today there was absolutely nothing. If I'm a recruit, I'm almost embarrassed to watch that game and be like,
elsewhere.
I'm not coming here.
It's tough because it doesn't matter how great you sell the world-class facility at Division I and for a Big Ten team. Here's our weight room. Here's where you can do your homework. Here's where we're going to watch film. Here's what life is going to look like in Wisconsin. If they were at Camp Randall for about 2.5, 3 hours today and saw that, none of that matters anymore. It all left their minds.
No.
And that's the unfortunate part is, right, Riley, you said Luke Fickell has brought more of a recruiting department to Wisconsin. And he's gotten some talent. Again, Wisconsin was more talented than Maryland. Just didn't look like it today. But now you really start to hurt the future that you're hoping to build towards, whatever that looks like leadership-wise, by the incoming 2026ers and 27ers seeing this today. This was somebody's visit today. That's where stuff like this hurts. That's where the quitting in the second quarter impacts more than just you. It impacts the future of the program because somebody else who was going to be your starting DB in a couple of years is no longer going to be.
Yeah, and I think you're exactly right. And similar to the point I made earlier, like these are young men looking to accomplish their dreams. Like all these kids dream of playing football at a Division I level. They dream of going to the next level at the NFL. And Wisconsin today showed them absolutely nothing. That if I'm also a parent, like the parents play a big part in these decisions.
Yes.
If I'm a parent, I am not telling my kid to go to Wisconsin right now. I'm telling them, hey, if you want to go to the NFL, if you want to do what you set out to do, play at the highest level, play for championships, play in these big games, I'm going somewhere else right now. After watching what I saw today. Again, that can change moving forward, but after today, I'm looking elsewhere if I'm a recruit or a parent of a recruit.
It's one of the toughest halves of football and one of the toughest games of football in recent memory for Wisconsin. When we return, we're going to find one, a drive of the game here. But first, we are introducing Pizza Hut's new handcrafted personal flats pizzas. For just $5 each, you can enjoy bold recipes like Nashville Hot Chicken, Pepperoni Duo, 3 Cheese Ultimate, and Chicken Bacon Ranch. That'll make you feel a little bit better after today's game.
I would love some
a little
chicken
CBR in your life.
Yes, we have some great food here from Monks and Middleton,
yes,
though.
They are amazing here to us, and they've been great
been
at just catering to us and making sure we have a good experience, which we definitely have. But the perfect pizza deal is perfect for game days. Find out the nearest location, or you can order online at pizzahut.com. Nobody out pizzas the Hut. Drive of the game coming up next. This is the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day postgame show.
Postgame reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Attention business owners and executives. Looking for a bank that's invested in your community as you are? Look no further than Starion Bank. As a Dane County community bank, Starion offers competitive deposit and loan rates while actively supporting local initiatives. Visit a business banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, and Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, full-service business banking, lending, and cash management.
Looking to join an international quality golf club right here in Madison? For a limited time at TPC Wisconsin, enjoy full golf privileges and all club amenities without full dues. Pay just $150 per month through March to maintain your full golf membership with no golf dues until April 1st. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Schedule a tour or submit a membership inquiry at tpcwisconsin.com and start enjoying the private golf club experience you deserve. That's tpcwisconsin.com.
Hi, I'm attorney David Gruber. After an accident, you need a trusted winning team on your side. For more than 30 years, Gruber Law Offices has helped Wisconsin families get the results they deserve. If you've been injured, call our firm today for a free consultation. We're available 24/7. Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
It's kickoff time at Metro Ford of Madison, and we're bringing the heat with unbeatable truck deals. Get the 2025 F-150 Lightning with 0% APR for 72 months, $13.89 per $1,000 borrowed, or tackle any job with the 2024 F-150 or F-150 XLT, now at 2.9 APR for 66 months, $16.41 per $1,000 borrowed. These offers end September 30th, so don't fumble your chance to save. Visit MetroFordofMadison.com and score your next truck today.
This is a magical month at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, with 13 chances to win big every week. Starting at 6 p.m. each Friday in September, 12 winners will enter an enchanted forest and select a cash prize of up to $2,500. Then at 9 p.m. every Friday, one winner will open a door to reveal a grand prize of up to $10,000 in cash. Be here for our Forest of Fortune promotion happening every Friday night in September. Don't miss your chance for prizes all month long at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse isn't just a barbecue restaurant. Open daily for lunch and dinner, Liberty Station serves American comfort food with regional touches using many locally sourced ingredients. The bar at Liberty Station offers vintage cocktails created in a classic style, local craft beers, plus a wide array of wine options. And be sure to check out their sprawling patio with an indoor and outdoor porch area. Liberty Station, conveniently located just off the Beltline on Rimrock Road.
The people have spoken, and the results are undeniable. Ridgetop Exteriors delivers. We swept the People's Choice Awards. Best roofing, best siding, best windows, and best overall home improvement company. That's not just winning, that's setting the standard with expert craftsmanship, top materials, and service that keeps homeowners coming back. 4 categories, 4 wins, 1 name. Ridgetop Exteriors, your only choice for home exteriors. Visit ridgetopexteriors.com and experience the difference today.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
It's the best time of the year, and you know what that means for me. It's tailgating season. Hey, it's Alex Stroh. For my friends at Door County Distillery, locally produced, handcrafted, award-winning spirits made locally in beautiful Door County. If you're in Madison tailgating before a game, there's only one thing to do to elevate your experience, and that's bring it with Door County Distillery. Whether that's the cherry brandy for your old-fashioned, the single malt whiskey, or any of the gins, vodkas, and in-betweens, Door County Distillery has you covered. Find the retailer nearest you at doorcountydistillery.com.
We're on the Packers.
This NFC North is a 2-team race.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
Green Bay already showcased where they're at. The North is not going to be the best division in football this year.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
We put a bow on the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day postgame show live from the beautiful Monk's Bar and Grill in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. They've got a great scene here. Did you call it the Horseshoe Bar?
Yeah,
I've never thought of calling it that before.
I learned that from, I believe, Tarek Saleh and Derek Engler. They call the bar.
True veterans.
Yes, over at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, the Horseshoe Bar. I think this is what they mean.
It looks like it.
I'll have to ask for some clarification
for
on
the
Monday.
Shoe. Awesome stuff. Corey Sparks, Riley Yauk here with you and reminding you that you can experience a banking relationship where your goals are their priority. As a community bank with a commitment to Dane County, Starion Bank redefines local banking in the Madison area. Visit one of their convenient branches in Middleton, Sun Prairie, or Monona today or online at starionbank.com. All right, we've been in the lab. We've been digging. We found one. Here comes your drive of the game.
It's the drive of the game.
He's got the corner, and the Badgers touchdown answers quickly.
On ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
The Badgers punctuating and pulling away.
The drive of the game is brought to you by Chalmers Jewelers, helping guys score for more than 25 years.
All right, 27-10.
It's got to be drive of the game, the drive home from Monks.
That could be it.
It's got to be, right?
Or the drive here. I was excited to come here. I wasn't excited about the game, but I was excited to see this place because Jesse Nelson and I were at Monk's Bar and Grill in Middleton. Very similar vibes, Badger themed.
Yes.
Great vibes. I love all the different
place.
TVs.
Big fan of Monks in Sun Prairie.
Everyone's friendly here. Drive of the
people
game.
handing us notes,
yeah,
too.
We get little napkins. But looking at the game itself, I guess the drive of the game for me, I'm not going to give it to the late time touchdown.
The garbage time touchdown.
It doesn't mean a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. I guess if there was any inkling of hope to, hey, this team needs to rise from the ashes, you'd look to the third quarter. First drive on offense for Wisconsin. 8 plays, 31 yards, 3 minutes and 23 seconds for a field goal that was not blocked. So you got it down to 17 points. You made a 3-possession game, though. I mean, you needed to see more than that. I was hoping after seeing that drive that we would have more options for drive of the game, like this made it 20-13, and we had hope. This made it 20-20, and we're storming back. This is what could have started that.
Yep, and it didn't.
It did not.
So ultimately, that's what we're stuck with. This sucks. Not an ideal drive of the game.
It
but
does suck.
Drive of the game, nonetheless.
I guess it's better than the drive of the game for us.
No,
I gave you drive of the game.
I had fun on the drive of the game last week.
I don't think these guys had fun today on their drive of the game. Yeah, that is from our friends over, or brought to you by our friends over at Chalmers Jewelers. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day is presented by Coors Light. When you need to refresh on game day, choose a beer that's as cold as the Rockies, cold filtered, cold lagered, and cold packaged for peak refreshment. When the mountains are blue, you know what to do, and that's crush a Coors Light 2025. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Riley, final thoughts, a much-needed bye week on the way, and then it's Michigan.
I'm depressed. I'm disgusted with what I saw out of the Wisconsin football program today. I'm scrolling through Twitter, lots of former Badgers, lots of national pundits weighing in, and I think that national attention is what this program needs going forward. They need this problem to be too big to ignore, and now we have hit that breaking point. I just hope we can see some good Wisconsin football ASAP. Something needs to change and fast, Corey.
It's got to be addressed. Owen Dimful, thank you for producing back at the Everlight Solar Studios in Madison. Andrew Zimmel, same to you on the board at the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Studios in Milwaukee. That will do it for us. This is the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day postgame show brewed by Coors Light.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar.